Oppo Reno 5. Cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Another day and another chance for our 16 teams to grab themselves some all-important points here for the PMCO Africa, as we will get to see today if anyone can try and dethrone Slimemax. I think that's what we got to look at when it comes to this, mate, because overall they have been dominant. They have been able to grab plenty of points, and even if sometimes they're not as consistent as, say, like a KHK, who always seems to find themselves like in the top 6 of it, they get the big wins, they do the damage, and when they do come to play, well, a lot of the other teams and struggle to keep them at bay.
Yeah, I mean, we touched upon this a little bit yesterday, and I went a little bit more in depth about why this team is doing so good as of right now. It doesn't matter what situation you throw at them, if they have to play edge, if they're outside in the blue, or if they are center circle, they can adapt so well to their environment and to teams coming their way. And I think that is what set them heavily apart. And I think that that's mostly down to the experience they had back in the EMEA Championship. That's helping them a lot. They're all ready for anything that's coming their way, and I think that that's what helping them currently stand in first place.
And they have massive amounts of confidence, which shows with their mix of aggression plus the smart plays that come out there that we've become to know and love. But there are a lot of other teams that are trying to chase on up after them. Before we discuss this in more detail, before we get on with the rest of the day and the show, I'm going to remind you guys at home that Nimo TV is the official media partner of the PUBG Mobile Pro League in 2021. So make sure you go and check them out, because the more support we get for PUBG Mobile, the bigger we grow, the better things become. Me and Max will still have a job and something to do as well. And while DK will at the same time, he's not just here just yet, but Donkey Kong is going to be coming in a little bit later on. I love our buttons. Our buttons have become such a thing now. And obviously, chat, you know what to do. You have to spam this. As soon as we just get Max on screen, it's Moist Max. Time over and over again.
Moist Max.
Now, Max.
Even I got one. Even I got one.
You made your own?
Yeah, I'm in my
I'm
bro. I told you, you're like helping me. It's like free therapy. It doesn't have that much of an impact on me. It's still a little bit, but I'm just brushing it off the shoulder like it's nothing now. It's cool. So thank you very much, James Banks. I appreciate you for the free therapy. I'll send you the invoice later, but we won't talk about it on stream. It's fine.
Okay. We won't talk numbers. That's fine. Numbers we do want to talk about, though, right? When it comes to it, it's just the points we've seen. I'm just going to take a look while we wait for whatever graphics will be running to be coming through. Oh, there we go. Producer Alan was there in time. He gives us the format.
Thank you, Alan.
Yeah. You had to use it. You had to try that one. This is the format we've come to know and love. We are at the final stage. There is only 16 teams left within it. And it says 4 days of competition, but Max, we're already at the halfway mark. There is only 2 more days left for these teams to compete. And remember, the top team will get that slot at the EMEA Championship. The top teams advance to the PMPL Season 2 as well up in it. But when it comes to this, right, when it comes to the Africa region, it is looking stronger. We have seen so many more new teams come through with it all. I've been very impressed from start to finish with them. And we got to see what points they're going to be able to grab up here, because points don't just equal prizes. If you get enough points, they equal prizes for sure. But it will give you the chance to grab everything you want in terms of dominating this lobby and being in a good spot. Now, interestingly enough, right, the Drogons, this is one thing I want to point on. They had 2 chicken dinners, yet they're still only in 8th place overall, because they've had some games that were pretty bad. They were struggling so much until the very last game yesterday.
Yeah, Drogons, if I can compare them to Masinga, I would compare them to Gangnam Style, and especially Psy. You got himself 2 banger musics, and then the rest is just nobody knows and hears about it, So, Drogons, you get yourself 2 big wins, fantastic, great to see, but we want to see a little bit more, maybe potentially KHK join the mix, and we want to see more consistency from this team, because taking the win, sure, everyone's going to be like, wow, they take the win, it's fantastic, but at the end, it is clearly not enough. Getting consistent points is way more important than finding closure to games. When you do that, of course, that's going to help you rank up a little bit higher, but we need to see more points coming out from Drogons in the games where they don't perform, and we saw that especially yesterday, the 2 first games. First game, boom, 0 points. Second game, boom, 1 point. You can't afford to do that on a relevant basis. You need to get good points every single game if possible.
and those points will equal you into getting a lot of potential money on the line. There's a $30,000 prize pool up for grabs here for the PMCO Africa. Now, within the teams that we've got left here, they're all guaranteed a minimum of $750, and it works its way up, all the way up to $4,000 in there. Not a small amount of cash for these teams and players, not something to laugh at, because this is getting bigger and bigger each and every time, Max.
Yeah, of course, in the words of Kalaris, if you want oodles and oodles of cash, you need to be in first place at the very end. You're going to have to take home $4,000 at this time. But still, even if you did not make it, also going to have home a $500 prize pool in your bank. So great to see at the very end that we're going to see. And we talked about the prize pool quite a bit, so we're not going to repeat too much, but it's still great to see clear evolution in the prize pool, improving our year after year. And hopefully next year it will be even bigger than this time around.
Well, let's kick it to a break. And when we come back, it'll be time to start looking at our first games and seeing how these teams will fight it out. As always, we'll be starting with Erangel. So go and get yourself a snack, a drink, or whatever else you need, and make sure you're back here in just a few minutes.
Oppo Reno 5, cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Reno 5, hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
We are back and we are ready to bring you our opening game in just a few moments' time. It's not long away. The teams are gearing up and getting themselves ready. But while they do that, we also have to make sure we remind all of you guys at home how you can be born to win. This is the PMCO Africa Full Split brought to you by Oppo. And you guys can get your game mode on with the much-loved Reno 5 series of phones, where you can upgrade yourself, dominate your PUBG Mobile lobbies, and do a lot better than me and Max would ever do, especially considering, Max, you are the carry bag for us right now. You are the one with the most experience in it, but you still don't have your McLaren. So, you know, that's a bit of a loss for you, but we should take a look at the schedule.
We're not even in game. It's happening earlier and earlier every time.
It just came into my mind, you know. We'll look at the schedule so you don't have to think about your McLaren too much, you know. I know you love it. I know you want it. But we also do get to give you a bit of Miramar today, you know. You're lucky. You are actually getting a Miramar game. I thought, you know, I even saw it sometimes in the YouTube comments that people are saying, why does Max not get Miramar? He's not as good as me and DK on Miramar, but, you know, we have to let him every now and again get the experience of it. You're a fantastic commentator, but you don't have the same passion and love for Miramar that we do, Max.
I love. You're a fantastic commentator, but there's always a but that's going to come eventually. Thank you very much, James. But I'm really happy to be able to have a little game of Miramar happening. We're kicking you out early today, James. You got some business to attend to. So that's fine. We'll be taking over, DK. So you'll have one game. You better make it count though, and not mention too many McLarens. Because you only got one game, I guess you're gonna like put it all in one game and click the button I can do instead of 3 games.
3 in 1. Yeah, I'm down.
But I shouldn't have said that. That was a bad idea. Oh well, we'll see how it goes. I guess no.
It'll be so good. You just set me up. You really set me up to make this. Like, I was going to be nice, and now we're here. But you know what? We will remind everyone at home, the teams that are playing in this. If you can hear my cat screaming and shouting again, I do apologize, because Luna just wants to be on the broadcast by the sound.
I'm going to do a Luna button next.
Yeah, just a constant meow. Why not? I won't let you know if it's the real thing or you doing it. So we'll just have to deal with this for the meantime. What these teams have to deal with is knowing that it's the same teams every single time. It's very beneficial in doing your review, getting in to know your strategies and looking at how you want to face off against some of these teams. But you also know that there are some teams that are very, very tough and hard to deal with in there. And I want to put a bit of a spotlight. not so much in a negative way, onto Blackjack Esports and Gun right now. Two teams throughout group stages who look really good. They have some great games. We see positive signs from them. They seem to be ones that are affected mainly by the pressure, because I see such a significant playstyle change from them when they come into this final spot here, Max.
I wouldn't maybe put it down to pressure. Of course, that can play a very important role. I think that's a completely valid point to make. But I think when you're looking at the shift from the group stage now into the finals, I think that finals, the level of gameplay is just that much higher. And it doesn't happen very often where I'm like, wow, the level is actually heavily increased. This is one of the first PMCOs where I actually witnessed this happen. Like night and day. It's night and day when you compare the group stage now into the finals. And I think there's just something that Blackjack Esports and Gun were maybe not that prepared for. And they were just like, we got a playstyle that worked in the group stage. We're going to hold on to that playstyle and make it work in the finals. Unfortunately, all the other teams have tried to evolve, change their playstyle, their strategies. And for Blackjack and Gun, it just didn't work out whatsoever. Currently, they're standing in 14th and 15th position, respectively. And when you're talking of having those two spots at the top, and KHK is currently standing on 96 points, they need to have an amazing third day and an amazing day 4 tomorrow if they want to have even the slimmest chance to make it back at the top. But that is also keeping in mind that you are hoping for KHK and Slime to get no extra points, which we know, James, seeing how they've been going so far, that is not going to happen.
Yeah, it's not often that happens at all. So in terms of, okay, you don't think it's the pressure side of things, right? The one thing I noticed, especially on the games yesterday, was when we were coming on to Blackjack Esports, there were some fights and engagements they were taking where they were willing to take the fight at the beginning, and then they looked a bit lost whether they wanted to or not. And for me, I look at that as potential pressure because they're doubting themselves, right? And we all know that if you have a few seconds of doubt come into play, that is when things start to get messed up. You're not making the right call. You're not going directly as a team. Maybe you actually end up confusing yourselves. Like one player's going in for it, the other one wants to run away. I want to see more of that solid teamwork we saw come out from them before. And I agree with you. Yes, the lobby is definitely tougher. That's the whole point of this when we get to the finals. But I also feel like they're making uncharacteristic mistakes, which I wouldn't normally have put under those guys. So maybe it's just the idea of like, you just ignore whoever you're facing up against and just know that you guys can do this and push a little bit harder. But we'll have to wait and see how they all do without this, because Erangel at least is a good starting point for everyone on here. This is the one where we get to see that everyone knows where they're going now. You mentioned it yesterday. They have actually changed up a couple of the drop spots coming in. They weren't going to go fight for these spots as well. But there are some teams now that might try and fight a little bit harder. I'm wondering, right, if you're like a KHK, do you think you just try and home in a little bit more on Slime? Because they've got so many points ahead now. Like day 1, it was 20 points ahead. Now they're what? Quick math on this. They are almost 30. They're 29 points ahead now, right? So like, what on earth do you do at this point? Because they can even just have mediocre games and they're going to still be sitting in such a good spot over everyone else.
Yeah, that's one thing to keep in mind. I think that this early, only day 3, and we still got an entire 4 games happening tomorrow. I think it is very early to go for a play like that. That is normally something that you do when you're just about to cross that finish line and you want to try and mess them up as much as you can at the very end. Then I would understand. I don't expect to have too many big changes for the teams at the top. Though I think the teams at the bottom, we're looking at maybe RRAGE Africa, Rila Insider, Team Lag, and especially Blackjack Esports and Gun. I think those are the teams that we're going to see some really drastic changes. But Blackjack Esports, if we want to see them do better, get rid of the Crocs. They're not easy to walk into. Just get some normal pair of shoes, and baskets, I don't know, whatever you want, but the Crocs aren't great to walk into. So it might be a little bit hard. That's why they might struggle in the fights.
You got to leave these Crocs alone, Max. I'm actually going to buy you a pair. Next event we have, I'm just going to get you some Crocs, and then I'm going to take pictures of you in the Crocs.
I'll appreciate that.
Yeah, see, there you go. You'll be happy in the end. You've got a present. You can't say I'm bullying you anymore. But we are going into our first game of the day. It's day 3, match 1. And as always, we are born to win. I welcome you all to another exciting match brought to you by Oppo. And you guys can get your gamer mode on with the much-loved Reno 5 series of phones. And make sure you're doing that to be at the best you can be. And maybe one day we'll be commentating you here, as this is a straight line all on this eastern side. We don't see this all too often, Max.
Yeah, we had a few northern playing path. East doesn't happen too often, so teams, of course, going to have to try and adapt, especially knowing that there's a lot, and I truly mean, James, a lot of teams that like to drop in George Pole, Northern George, Southern George, or even the area around Quarry. Quite a lot of teams like to potentially drop in that position. So or you go for an elongated drop, means that you go down, pick up a car. If you know the car spawns, that's even easier. Make it to that drop spot and you'll be good to go. Or otherwise, if you have a secondary drop location, which I personally prefer, I think it is the best option, just go for that. So really, teams at this stage, of course, win the finals. A bad playing path, it happens. You should be able to adapt to anything that comes your way. And one team that's not going to have to change anything in their drop is going to be INF, as they just go for Severny. Literally no teams have been trying to contest that whatsoever in the entirety of this event, so I'm happy. But we are currently seeing a lot of teams dropping into Sovnovka. island, they're going to have yourself Young Thunder, MZR, and also a team right behind, which I can't see. I believe it's FEINTED, which typically drop in Northern George. So they do have a secondary drop. That is good to see, but they're dropping on Young Thunder, which are in 5th. And then FEINTED are currently in last place. FEINTED better be careful.
Yeah, some teams obviously looking to just try and mix things up very early on. Like you said, maybe the teams that are further down the bottom do start it off today. There is potential for it. We get a very fair circle, though, as central as it can be, even with us getting that far eastern plane coming into play. For Slime 4KT, I think what they will do is their usual of going to get some vehicles and drive on up and get their usual spot out towards Georgia Pole. We'll have to wait and see what they do decide on that one. But overall, teams will just have a slight change up because of all this going down. For me, though, Max, right, we did obviously look at a lot of these teams when we were talking about the finals and what teams would be able to do some good plays coming in here. G3 Tempered, they've stayed very consistent with it. I didn't actually expect RRAGE to be as good as they have been. They're right now sat in 4th with 72 points. They looked okay during the group stage, but it wasn't like, I wouldn't say they were a team that massively over-impressed me with this. So I feel like in the finals, they really stepped it up a gear.
I would have to agree, and I agree, especially with what you just said there, which is, they were doing good in the group stage, but maybe not top 5 level of like, we were expecting them to be top 5 in the finals, so which is good. Some teams, of course, are going to reserve themselves a little bit. So many teams do that kind of strategy when they go into a PMCO or even a PMPL when they're trying to go into a Super Weekend or you're trying to make it into the finals of a PMCO. Top 16, it still requires a little bit of effort to be made to make it to that position, but you don't have to show all your cards. And for example, for RRAGE, that might be the case. I'm just purely speculating here, but that might be the case where we have a really strong strategy. We don't want to show it off too early. We're going to try and chill into the group stage, just ease our way into the top 16s to make into the finals. And once we make it there, that is when we're going to do the big boy plays, the big boy rotations, and hopefully have that work out, which it did, especially yesterday, taking himself home a win, 72 points right now in 4th place. But there are some teams behind them that are closing in. Young Thunder, 1 point away behind RRAGE. Aphelion Apex and Mezexis also closing up that gap pretty significantly yesterday. So yeah, RRAGE, the thing is, now you showed a big portion of your playstyle and your strategies. Maybe teams have been doing a little bit of VOD review yesterday or even today, this morning or early afternoon, and they might have a better approach as to how to deal with the threat of RRAGE. So something to keep in mind, but I do believe that it was a surprise coming into this. And we'll see if they can build even more on top of that for this 3rd and 4th day.
And the team we're looking at right now, and here is Aphelion Apex, who obviously they had that insane high kill game. They took the lead overall, right, with that game, that no one else had even got close to it. No one else is, I think, what we've seen, max 29, 30 coming in. But for these guys, they had that huge game that's paid off for them. And then they've just kind of been a bit up and down, sometimes being eliminated very early on, sometimes maybe not taking the fights that they would maybe feel that's most comfortable for them in there. We've also got Team Somalia, who I still, from their group stage, the 2nd place and the win when they were down on numbers, probably shouldn't even had a chance to win it, and they pulled it off. That was still very impressive, but yet to see that kind of performance on a tougher lobby in here, they're not making that work for themselves, and so that's a factor we need to look at.
Hey, Luna, how you doing?
Yeah, she's gone.
We'll have to bring on camera.
I think what it is, right? I think she just looks at me and she's like, he's not talking to anyone. So he's obviously talking to me, so I'll talk to him back. Maybe that's the logic in her mind.
Just saying, stop bullying Max, please, but I can't understand. But she's actually taking my side, so I appreciate you, Luna. Thank you. I have to show on camera at one point. I'm sure the viewers would love that.
Let's see. Let's decide.
Let's see. What would you require for that to happen? Do you need a sacrifice to show Luna on camera? Do you need something?
No, I'm definitely fine to show it on camera. I just want to be nice. I'm not so loud and interrupt everything. She's in one of these moods these last 2 days. It's been fine up until this point. She normally just sits. Yeah, I actually have a desk next to my computer, which is just for her, and it's then got a like fluffy mat on, and she just sits and sleeps on the mat normally. But these last
I misunderstood. I thought you said you have a computer just for her. I'm like, what?
Oh well, yeah. She's
a gamer too. Well.
She's a real gamer. she's on the PUBG mobile.
Or Renault 5. Gonna game. Oh yeah.
Her own cat setup. She obviously plays with the claw grip as well, you know.
I mean, of course, I would expect no less. Of course, with the thumb sleeves and everything. Good headset.
The thumb sleeves because the claws themselves don't really work when you touch.
I mean, don't want to damage the phone. Yeah, that's it, right? You want to keep it intact.
Screens to shreds.
Man, you remember? Oh, I don't remember the movie. What was it? You know when it was puppies and they were playing like basketball or something? I don't remember the name. Imagine that, but in esports, like dogs and cats.
We're gonna make a dog and cat esports tournament.
Like, no, movie.
Okay, we're going for a movie.
Was it Air Puck? Like, I don't remember the movie.
Air Pup?
No, it's like some Labrador puppies that are playing sports.
I definitely haven't seen this, but I even feel like I want to see this now.
Yeah,
this
it's pretty
so
cool.
Wild.
I have to ask Jason. He's the one that told me the name, and it actually looks pretty cool. Yeah, there you go. That's a cool concept. Hollywood, hit us up. Got some cool plans over here.
we can script write this for you. We've seen enough PUBG mobile games. Oh, Ghost, you got to get the hell out of there, buddy. Surprisingly, how close he got. They didn't land too many shots on him, so they will not be able to take him out of the equation. He backs away and at least has the information. Lag already posted up here and taking some space.
I got it.
Early on.
Air Buddies. Air Buddies. Thank you, Google. Appreciate it. Got it.
Oh, look, there's a McLaren.
Have you made a button yet for that?
No, I just enjoy the McLaren.
Every time. Though, we did see Drogons play this position yesterday. Yes. They played it well early, but they just got pushed up so easily. And now I think like they almost, I wouldn't say scared, but they're thinking twice. Are we going to go back on the tippity top of Potato Hill to potentially just get pushed away so easily by another team? Going to stay in the wings this time, which I think is good to see. But that's one thing that we desperately need to see coming out from Drogons. It's when they have a strong position, don't try and allow a team to push onto you. Zone them away as early as possible, because then it gets a little bit harder when they close that gap. So Drogons, I'm hoping to see a big shift in at least a mentality of trying to go out aggressive. As Lag are in the position where Drogons were yesterday in game 1. Of course, Lag tend to be a little bit more aggressive given the opportunity. So they're going to make sure that no teams such as G3 are actually going to be able to overstep their welcome.
And it's such a strong spot to fight from, right? Especially when you have a circle like this. You're pretty much dead center to it all. You've got high ground advantage on everyone. We look at how the game ended last time around as well. Poor G3 got shot at by Lag. Now the Drogons also taking pop shots at them. They're trying to find a little bit of space to work off here. They want to find a hidey hole that they can chill in for a little bit of time while we wait to see what the phase 2 circle will potentially bring. And for teams here, right, there's literally, other than a couple of teams that are on the military base right now, no one is really going to struggle to get back into this circle. There's so much room. It's only Rila Insider out towards Quarry. Everyone else is gone and stuck around to this eastern side, obviously from the 2 teams in Georgia Bowl. So there's a lot of space. There's a lot of room still. This could be quite an interesting Erangel game to go down.
Oh, we'll see what the circle's going to go.
Move across.
Hey, this is actually very friendly. Unless it goes on the river, which has a relatively big chance of happening. If we have 1 or 2 northern shifts in a row, then that's where things are going to start to get dicey. I'm surprised that we've seen actually Influence RRAGE Africa remain on the northern side of the river. I would see that as a pretty big gamble. You're expecting that circle to come your way quite a few times. The earlier, the better for them to move out of that spot. I think Gun also have a really strong position in that plateau right down south of INF. Really good oversight, and because of that, they got the information. They were waiting for phase 2 before making the decision based on that intel. They get the info, boom, instantly start moving into a compound a little bit closer to KHK. So yeah, literally, there's not much to say on this circle. The only thing that I can break down just a bit is because we did see this very eastern plane path, and if you correlate that to this phase 2 circle, if you're not in the circle for the next few phases, you might find an easy entry point over to the west. Just something to keep in mind. It would be an easy entry point, but Drogons getting pushed up now by another side is going to be RRAGE. Junior's going to be able to pick himself a knock onto Parla. Junior's got to try and get closer. Ooh. Slay, just rolling up.
Nicely done. JR eliminated as well. Drogons have been taken out. And what I really like there from RRAGE, you had 2 players down the south, 2 players up in the north. They'd completely surrounded Drogons. There was nowhere they could go, nowhere they could turn at all to try and back out of that fight. They were absolutely locked in. And RRAGE, well, we spoke about them, right? Doing better than maybe what we expected here in the finals. This is a great start to their Erangel here.
Yeah, and it goes back also to what I mentioned about Dragons, right? They're not able to defend a position, and they allow teams to get way too close, way too quickly, and that's what happened there. They should be able to scout a lot earlier and spot those enemies coming in. We didn't see, of course, the very start of the fight, but they were already very close, which makes me a little bit second-guess what really happened there. So yeah, unfortunate one for Dragons. Once again, going to be having to go out in last and 16th position, so that is going to allow them to remain locked in the bottom 8, because they were just shy of top 8. They're actually in 8th position right now, but they were just 1 point above Team Somalia. So unfortunately, I think the Drogons are going to go into the second page after this, which you definitely do not want to be after this 3rd day of play. So we'll see how they can do now on next 3 games. In terms of rotations, though, a few strong compounds already taken over. G3 did not lose any players while they were rotating around Drogons, and also Team Lag, so that's pretty chappy to see. And Dizzy got himself a nice headshot. I believe it was with a Car 98 just a few seconds ago in the kill feed, so that was good. But not able to confirm that kill. It's always good to see some bolt action.
Yeah, it's
not the most meta.
Less.
Yeah, it's not really meta. You always want to go for, but especially when you have weapons like the DB28, which is really good mid range. You can play a little bit long range if you go for a few one taps. But yeah, Car 98 is just, and even any bolt action is not hyper meta because it's, I would say it's a risky weapon, right? You take one shot, you miss it. It's got a big reload time to try and get another shot in. Compared to the Mini 14, the SLI, you just spray that big boy and you're at least assured to hit 1 or 2 shots.
But it's so satisfying when you land a nice Car 90 shot, isn't it? It's like you just sit there and you go, I did that. Like, especially if they're moving. If it's not one where they're just standing still and you land the shot of a lifetime, you just feel good about it. But yeah, I do understand on that side of things that, cool, it's maybe not the most used weapon in there. We did get it a lot in the spring split, though. We were seeing players pop off of it and give us much entertainment.
Nerf Me and Darkness. I remember those two all the time. Nerf Me and Darkness, you give them a sniper, it was like, okay, well, you're dead. GG, just surrender, go back to lobby, I guess. Okay. I'm cool with that.
Shift. Yeah, that's fine. Still a bit of the river in play. INF will now just work their way down, right? There's no point of trying to hang around there. Team Somalia only just got themselves going. Hawk AT just going to tank a bit of the blue early on. They seem to like to do this more now on Erangel, especially when they're going to have to travel off, right? The last 2 times they've played Erangel and they've had to get in vehicles, drive on off to South George and take their spot and take a little bit longer. They're happy to be one of the last teams in and not have all the information straight up front and then play off it from there. So, again, just keep an eye on the front runners here and how they pan it out, how they play it out. But like you mentioned already, Max, there is a lot of compounds, a lot of space that has already been taken away from teams. And even if you're one of the teams that actually has to shift and move now, for example, like Lag, who has had to leave off the top of Potato Hill, now you're going to be scrambling for a bit of extra space.
Oh, okay, Stoney from Aphelion Apex. Started off strong, unfortunately, after that 20-kill game on game 1 on day 1. Started falling off a little bit, so we need to see them get back in the strength of things. Hopefully that'll be the case. Mezexis, though, a little bit pinched down between MZR and also Young Thunder. Another one of these teams that, if given the performance, if given a win, could be climbing up in top 2 in one singular game, but they need an absolute banger for that to happen. Young Thunder, definitely one of the teams to look out for. They could be a contender for those PMPL slots. As Mercury gets instantly his head blown off. And yes, it is indeed a McLaren. Thank you very much.
I don't need to say it anymore. I love it. Well done, Max. You're noticing.
I'm learning. I'm improving. Wow. So cool.
I like this from Young Thunder, though, right? They know that they also won't have the vision on the other side because of the smokes that are going down. Plenty of grenades going on forward. They try and close the gap and find their way in. They need to be careful of Matrix, though, because he's playing off the side of the smokes and might be able to find something. More nades going up and forward. Superior wants to try and get it on the money. Oh,
the steal. Turpis. Good old Turpis. I haven't seen a clutch recently, though. We need to see more Turpis. Come on, get 1v3 again, man.
Moments.
What's been happening? Trying to smoke it up once again, trying to refresh those smokes. Superior trying to go for a little bit of a sneaky angle, get the smokes up for his 2 teammates, hopefully get them back on their 2 feet. But Superior is thinking, do I go for the fight or do I just go for the res or leave? That might even be a viable option. Matrix spotted that one out and he's going to try and get right over that little ridge. But he hears the rest of MZR moving, stopping him from actually going any further. So that should be a 14 back on board for Young Thunder, but they just barely escaped away from death there.
And now Mezexis heavily pinned down from 2 teams. They know the moment they stand up, other teams will take some good shots at them. That nade did a good amount of damage. Not quite finding the knock just yet. Pretty okay spread coming out from Young Thunder for now. Mezexis more closely put together for now.
How much utility has been used in this fight?
I know it's been non-stop. All I've heard is nades for like the last minute.
Yeah, Smoke's true. Like, they're going to have nothing going into the late game. They're going to have... If it's a field finish, these 2 teams are done. There's no escape. Nice trying to molly, though. Yeah, the Young Thunder trying to move away by foot. Aren't they hearing this? Yeah, I would peek up right now. This would be such a good opportunity, but Pyro's knocked out. Mercury did get flushed.
They can't, though, right? If they stand up now, there's potential that MZR will see them. They were the ones taking the shots. They were the ones that were well aware, so they jump back in the McLaren and speed away out of that one. Young Thunder, they know they spent too much time, too much utility there at the same time, but MZR now just rolling straight up on Lag, who have tried to move down from Potato Hill, but they're going into a fight here. But Uzi close range could do some good damage. Turpis being tagged up quite heavily, and that's a nade.
Okay,
Turpis. No. Oh,
Turpis did it. Oh my. Hey, we asked the clutch, right?
Yeah, does that count as a clutch for another team? You clutched for Lag?
I mean, we'll count it. It's fine. A clutch is a clutch. As long as it pops in a kill feed, it counts. We'll take it. Thank you very much.
Poor guy.
Hey, we just asked, like, what, 30 seconds ago? And he delivered. Okay? We got to appreciate that. Thank you very much, Turpis. That's very cool of you. We appreciate you, homie.
That's going to feel so bad. You just have to ignore that, you know. If you're Turpis, you just go, sorry, boys, big error. And you just don't think about it again. You get yourself ready for map 2.
Was that satisfying there? Come on, that was cool. Especially with the SKS, which I'm not a fan of, but worked out great for Ro.
Made it work.
Yeah, can't argue with that one. Rila Insider gonna have to share it.
Look at
FEINTED.
this.
Oh, there's so many players and teams in this compound. Rent must be very low. Pretty cool.
Thing is, Storm are only just coming up to this location now. I have no idea if they're going to be aware of how many teams are here. The fact they're all in buildings, all secure.
Yeah. Especially as it's very hard to nade these type of buildings. There's so much breathing space. You see the nade come in. If it's not cooked properly, you're easily going to get yourself rezzed up. Okay. Trying to get the pop. Jebot, you should... Stop it, Jebot. Like, you know...
Just don't peek. He's just taking pop shots and you keep getting tagged.
I don't know if that was intentional from Ro, though. He's got the perfect angle on that smoke where he can just barely see right through. Okay, wow, okay. You were requesting, James. You wanted to see some good sniper action, man. We're getting great snipe. Oh, they got another headshot coming out from Dizzy. Oh, that was the one a little bit late, but... Man, okay. Keep on going with the Car 98. I'm loving it.
If he hits a few more of those, might be some success to be found here for FEINTED. They are sadly 16th overall at the moment. Somalia have looked to try and push up. They do need to be very careful here because, yes, you've got a bit of cover behind the wall for now. Just some nades that come through could really upset you. 4KT have actually found their way into a building and found some success with this. I'm surprised. And they're 2-2 split on different buildings.
Yeah, I was about to mention that. 2-2 split is very... another headshot coming out on the Car 98 from True. I mean, to be honest, I'm not really surprised because all of these teams got separate compounds that are relatively far away. DMRs, snipers, bolt action is going to be the most impactful kind of weapon to have in these kind of circles, but apartment is not in play anymore here, James. And same for school. You're going to have, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 teams going to have to move away from those positions. The earlier, the better, but of course, that means you're going to show your back away. So that is going to be a very big risk. And especially if you move out, that's good. But where do you go? Because all the compounds that are in the circle are already taken away, so you need to have a plan in mind.
Storm are going now, straight away. Plenty of teams are trying to take some shots at them, but maybe the teams didn't expect them themselves.
Oh, wow.
And they've just got in to rush onto a team. Rila Insider heavily under pressure. They want to try and push through on it. Zeke needs to be very careful. Aimer making sure he's got enough cover there. Damage being done. Aimer picking it off, pulling them apart. Beautiful stuff. 3 kills found for him. Rila Insider eliminated. And 4KT can potentially recover from this. But look at Young Thunder. 2 players close by might want to try get involved in this action. This is where Aimer needs to be careful.
How did that work out for him? I have no idea. Also, there was going to be some players of Young Thunder on the back that were trying to also help out. Maybe a little bit of utility was shared in that entire exchange. E3 trying to use that mayhem to move out into position. Flacco jumps out relatively early, and he's got M249 against him, pointed his way. Going to be executive. But man, this is starting to get really, really complicated to move about. And now Lag starting moving away. They won their fight earlier. Now they're going to try and take more control. But you know that everything's about to break loose here, James. Just a few more seconds, and all the teams are going to have to rush forward. And it's going to be happening as Slime 4KT already suffering casualties.
Big nades going through. Everyone's trying to avoid the extra damage being done. Pronto put on the floor. Kind of just viewing the kill feed to understand what exactly is going on here, Max.
What's happening?
We've got 2 players knocked. True actually holding on. They surround the 4KT player. There's another one put on the floor. I believe they've only got 1 standing for now. And now that's none. They're gone. They're out of it. 11th place is what they'll be able to achieve in this one. 4 points is all they will have.
The gods can bleed. They had 125 points before this one, and KHK were just about 29 points away. Good molly onto Gunner, coming out from 0 from high above. That's an instant kill confirmed. Fainted. That's going to be their very first kill in this game, despite being in the thick of the fighting for a big portion of this game. But they're all down to 2 also. Dizzy's been getting some great sniper shots since earlier, but you need to make those knocks actually count eventually.
Yeah, that's the downside, right? He can land some sick shots, but they can
Can't confirm it.
Yeah, they can just back away because it's so far. It's like, okay,
oh,
I'll just
Cheddar!
and wait for my teammates.
Oh, man. Cheesy play coming out from him. Reverb's going to be there to try and close it up onto Kalkin. Now the final player of Aphelion Apex, and there's nothing he can do. No opposition set up. And Blackjack, is this them turning a new leaf right now? Because they are currently standing in 14th place before this game. They need to have fantastic day 3 and day 4 if they want to make it back up in the top 5. This is a really good start of the day for them.
You've got Gun in the back as well, up on the northern side. Their compound was in the previous circle. The new shift has gone right down to the south. They've got a long way to go and plenty of teams to fight off against. Superior needs to be careful, spraying away, but can't quite land all the shots he wants.
Ooh.
Return fire comes on through. Somalia being tagged up, but not being put down just yet.
Oh, that circle. Come on. Give him a break. And this is good for lag, though. They got a strong position. G3 potentially also, but you're going to have the big focus of Fainted and Young Thunder coming their way.
There we go, all in one car. That's a big risk. It's not what you want to see. Plenty of shots coming out, but Zero, he has to reload. Won't be able to finish him off as Dizzy's still landing some more car 98 shots. And KHK somehow, someway got away with it as a 3-man push in a car.
That's overkill. But hey, I ain't going to argue. As long as it works, man, that's all that you really have to focus on. Don't allow anyone to get too close, though. 1 nade, and that will be pretty much game over for KHK. Fainted. They know they're going to have to jump out of the window eventually. They're trying to block out visibility as much as possible before having to drop down, or they might even just go for a heal-off strat, which I think, if they got quite a lot of meds, a heal-off would not be that bad of an idea, but there's only 1 first aid for Zero. I don't know how many is currently remaining for Dizzy. I don't think it's going to be a good option, and Dizzy also does get knocked down, so that's even more resources taken down. This is complicated, and Young Thunder are playing that bottom section just so well with that utility. Oh, yes!
So many nades.
Oh, superior.
Well done. Really good there from Young Thunder in the end to take him out and put him down. Oh, but now they've been seen, they've been heard. G3, they're on top of it. It's only 2 players. They're looking to do some big damage and stop Young Thunder from pushing forward.
Okay, that's a big spray. Calm down, Buden. It's fine.
He's hungry,
just need
man.
a few. He's got to reload right now. Get back to 150 bullets. Hopefully he's got enough ammo. That's one thing that's not said enough about this weapon, though. It consumes your ammo so quickly. 1 spray and you're pretty much 50% down on ammo. So you got to be careful on how you use it. On consumption. Romeo trying to get a little bit wider. Maybe get a little bit of a sneaky third-person perspective angle around that smoke, but not able to get in time. I don't think Young Thunder have any more nades. And that was down to the fight they had earlier, right? And we were talking, you have no more utility. You still have some smokes, but grenades would be so key to take that fight towards G3. But without nades, G3 are just completely safe right now.
And they can be the gatekeepers for as long as possible. They may not have the numbers, but soon enough, Young Thunder are going to have to start moving forward.
They do have some nades still, apparently. There we go. That's the angle. Superior hits the headshot once again. Buden's just on a slither of HP, trying to go for his first aid kit. But against this, got back on his 2 feet. It's not going to happen. Young Thunder, they know they need to strike right now, but Team Lag on the distance, and they're going to actually help out the side of G3.
First aid kit trying to be popped. Buden incredibly low, but Lag, he's kept their chances alive for a little bit longer in this one. Absolute carnage is taking place right now. More utility going to be used. As Romeo wants to try and sneak forward. The flames are put down, but there's still smokes all around it. It's not going deep enough. Has it gone over?
Oh, it smokes. Oh, okay. Trying to block out the visibility. It's a really smart play. Young Thunder can keep crawling their way forward, and information being denied away from G3 Temp is a big play. Now it's going to get close quarter combat, and you are given a little bit of an opportunity to G3 to take the 2v3 clutch. You need to have on-point synergy as KHK, hearing that from a distance, are closing the gap. I'm trying to get involved.
Making their way through. Romeo's been spotted. Buden ripping him apart. It's nice and easy. Hasn't got too many bullets left, though. He's being surrounded. He's being put down. And Young Thunder, they do survive for now. The revive's going to come through. And they can at least keep 3 players up in this. But it's Team Lag who are in such a good spot right now. And they are willing to take the fights. KHK still believing they can get something done here. But for Blackjack Esports, This could be a huge game for him if they can have some success.
That was amazing from Fantasy. If he did not get that knock onto Zane, that Nate would have got himself a knock and also a kill confirm. That would have been 2 extra kills, and Team Lag would have suffered really big a loss because they need those players to take control of that position. They confirm the kill. That's Zane out of the game. Blackjack Esports still got 2 players on a sneaky off angle. Nade way too overcooked, but the idea was there. Second nade. Oh, it bounces out. You need to thread the needle. That nade could unlock a potential win coming away with Blackjack. The molly comes in, but does barely any damage over to Lag.
This is where it gets very close and tricky. Lag are in good spot for now. KHK getting plenty of shots out towards him. It's Cheddar.
Oh, leader. Oh, that's huge. I love that position of leader. Going for a little bit of a wider spread. Got himself a 2-1-1. Cheddar spotted away. Gets a knock, but gives the intel over to 0. That's another kill. 7 so far for Lag. And they're looking to maybe convert into a double-digit game. But man, this spread is fantastic from Lag. They are confirming this game. There is no way they don't get this.
You say no way.
There's always a chance.
But that is always the caster curse that can come through.
Especially me.
Young Thunder are still managing to stay alive in this, and then another nade just comes through. Very fortunate that it didn't knock on both there. KHK, consistency from this team across the whole of the finals has been huge.
Oh, leader.
And they're not looking to mess around. Oh, heavily tagged up. Berserk finds himself being put down. KHK, they're just lasering teams. As soon as someone pokes out, Fantasy's been seen as well.
No.
Big risks going in, and Lag, they get eliminated.
I'm sorry.
KHK looking to take it away as the caster curse comes through from this man. And he has maybe ended Team Lag's chances with this.
I'm so sorry. Okay.
You best apologize for him for next game and give him hope, man.
I'll do a tweet longer. Oh my god, Young Thunder get picked away. KHK will be taking himself another win right now. That's going to be their second hit in the finals, and they get it with so many kills. Man, okay, we've got to talk about KHK and how good that game was for them. But in general, that game, the grenades. We're back to the African utility, man. The grenades were so good. It was one of the best games in terms of utility.
Max, you literally said there's no way they could lose this game.
Stop it! Stop.
See, you notice what I do when we get into those situations, right? I'm like, they should be winning this game. They most likely will win this game. You were like, there is no way they could lose this game. And KHK went, aha, we need another win. We've got to find a way to jump up above the good old boys coming out from Slime 4KT. We're going to take a look at the points that went through on this. It's going to be heavily weighted in KHK and Young Thunder's favor, but KHK do steal it away by 5 in that. Lag getting a respectful 17. Blackjack Esports finally up there with 16 points that they desperately needed, mate. This was good to see.
Yeah, it's fantastic. We got to remind that before this game, Blackjack Esports was standing in 14th place out of 16 with 32 points. Right? They basically almost just got himself half of their points they did in 8 games in one singular game. Keep on this track, Blackjack Esports, and you can potentially make your way back up in the top 8 at the end of today. That is going to be the goal I'm setting up for Blackjack. Be top 8 after these next 3 games, and they'll be doing a really good improvement in the overall rankings. Team Lag also really happy, despite me cursing them a little bit in that game. I apologize. Still 17 points is nothing to be sniffed at. But now onto the second page, and we're seeing some teams that we were hoping to potentially continue their good start in the 2 first days, especially I'm looking at Aphelion Apex dropping down a little bit early in this one, and same for Slime 4KT. But to be honest, that fight in the apartments compound was so complicated. Not many teams are going to come out alive from that one, so I'm not surprised that they actually got the better of 4KT at the end.
Yeah, that was a true test for them, right? They dealt with one team and then straight into another fight against Young Thunder. They weren't ready for it, and well, they bit the dust in the end when it all went down. The Drogons, though, off the back of that final game win yesterday, then straight into another 0-point game. They can't afford to have too many of these, Max. It's starting to get very scary for these guys now. Yeah,
I'm going to have to call it the Gangnam Style effect, man. You got yourself banger games, and then you have really bad performances. Drogons need to remain consistent as much as possible. Otherwise, I mean, we said it before this one, they were in 8th place. Now they actually enter the second page. I'm pretty assured that Team Somalia actually got himself more points than Drogons in that one. So very unfortunate. We'll have to see. But Drogons, we need to see some consistency from this team.
We certainly do, but we're going to be consistent and go to a break before we come into the next match. I will try and hope for all of you guys at home that Max doesn't curse any more teams. If he does, I'll make sure Donkey Kong comes through and slaps him around a little bit and tells him that this is not acceptable, because otherwise he won't be getting Miramar again. We'll see you guys in 7 minutes.
5. Cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Reno 5. Hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Thanks so much for waiting, ladies and gentlemen. We are now done with our first game of the day. We still have 3 more to go, and of course, our second game, we're going to go right to the good old map of Sanhok and see how things are going to be happening over there. As always, my name is Moist Max. We're going to be joined by DK for this next game. DK, how you doing, man?
Good to yourself, dude.
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. You know, I just got bullied by James again. Yeah. I cast a cursor, team lag. I'm having a fantastic day, man.
Sounds like a normal standard day.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. So it's actually relatively normal. But you know what? Before we do get into the game, we're going to be able to look at the overall rankings to see exactly what we're working with before we do get into this game of Sanhok. And Slime 4KT, despite dying relatively early, they are still standing in first place. But DK, that DAP has closed an insane amount, as KHK now standing at just a mere few points behind them with 122 total. This next game, Slime 4KT could fall from grace and fall away from that top spot.
Yeah, I mean, KHK, they've been doing quite a bit of work to close that gap. And, you know, as you pointed out before, it was like 20-something points at the start of this match. And now only 7-point difference. So a really, really strong play coming in there from KHK. But, I mean, we've also seen some pretty good efforts come in from the side of Temper. They've also been pretty consistent across the board. And, you know, Young Thunder not having as insane matches KHK, but still finishing pretty strongly on that 21-pointer really helps them creep even closer into that top 4. And looking at the second page, you know, these teams, they find themselves in a slight bit of a danger zone, but a good improvement coming in from Blackjack in the past match, bringing in those 16 points and just breaking out into that 40-point region. And now, of course, there's quite a bit more work to be done. It is possible still for teams to try and catch up, to make it up onto that first page, but making it all the way onto the top of the first page with KHK and the players there from Slime 4KT, it's going to be quite a bit of hard work to get that done.
Yeah, we did also just see there on that second page, the Drogons did indeed fall away from our top 8, and they're currently standing in 10th place with 60 points. So we need to see a drastic change in what's happening on their side. They are a team that, given the right circumstance, can find a chicken dinner to come their way. That's great. That's fantastic. But as I talked about it earlier with James, and I'm going to repeat it again with you, DK, because I think it's a very important point. Chicken dinners aren't everything. Sure, they're fantastic to have from time to time, but at the end, you need to have a consistent and relevant amount of points coming your way on a relevant and consistent basis. If that can't happen, unfortunately, I'm going to have to say, I'm going to struggle, because unfortunately, if you struggle, that means to show that you're not born to win. And you know that we're here in this PMCO. We're all born to win. Welcome to the exciting match brought to you by Oppo. Get your gamer mode on with a much-loved Reno 5 series to try it your best and get yourself some good games here in PUBG Mobile Esports. Of course, going to be a relatively southern playing path this time, but as we always know, DK, we do not care too much about the playing path. All it really helps is for you to get a little bit quicker to your drop spot. Other than that, it doesn't really impact this game whatsoever.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see where that first initial zone is going to be popping. And as we know, this is the map on which all the moist max started. You know, Sanhok is the starter match for all that, and it's going to be interesting to see what the teams are going to bring. As we know, Sanhok does really lend itself to the aggression. It's where teams can come in, bring in a few plays in a really decent zone that we have. I mean, moving away from that trifecta, centering up a little bit more over towards that southeastern side. So it's going to be healthy for the teams to try and get in. As we can see, center zone already occupied by the players there from Gun. We got FEINTED as well as G3 in the vicinity. And I'm curious to see what they're going to be bringing to the table.
I am going to go out and go for prediction here. I'm seeing this phase on Circle, and I'm scared it's going to end towards Quarry or on the outskirts of Quarry. It is horrible. It is one of my least favorite circles you could ever ask me to look at. Quarry is just, I don't know if you would agree, DK, and I think that maybe you would, and I think a lot of people in chat too. Quarry's horrible, right? Like on this map, not on Erangel. Erangel was pretty fun, but like on this one, it's just it's disgusting.
Yeah, it is. It is quite a difficult ball to try and get out of. But I mean, I would actually be surprised if that zone finished in between Quarry and Kampong. That would be an interesting position to play, seeing that we do have a little bit of those ridge lines, a little bit of those mountaintops in the vicinity. I don't think I've seen the zone finish up in that region all too much. But of course, we'll have to wait and see what it is exactly that zone brings. And of course, I want to do a quick shout out here, Max.
Ooh, for me?
If I may. Oh,
shout me out?
You're already here with me.
Oh, I'm going to do it. I'm shout myself out myself. There you go.
Yes. We don't have the Moist Max button to press. I'll just have to manually do it. So yeah, first shout out to Max, and then of course a quick one going out to Cyrus and Fatman. I know they're in the chat somewhere there as well, but yeah, shout out to them. And yeah, now we look to see what the teams are going to do. I mean, MZR also in the running, literally still running, but we see them also sitting fairly decently when it comes to the points. Yes, they're on 14th place on 38 points, but they've shown quite a bit of potential. And I mean, it's always so good when we see the teams really starting to solidify the efforts that they've been putting in, when things really start to work for them. And I'm curious to see how that's going to develop as we progress through the rest of the matches here today. I mean, Team Somalia also, they've been bringing in quite a bit of effort, sitting with a very comfortable 61 points on the leaderboard. They are in the top 8. I mean, we've said this before as well. A really impressive team. They've shown some really good strategies.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I think that this is one of the few teams that, even though maybe not being as flamboyant and maybe as outlandish as the other teams that are looking to perform at the top, it has been a team that has improved very steadily since the group stage, at least the first day of the group stage, into the last day of the group stage, and even now heading into the finals. So, well, only time can tell how this team has truly improved and how good they can do in this third day and potentially even tomorrow in our fourth day of the finals here for this PMCO. I'm hoping to see that come to fruition. But as always, now we had quite a few games of Sanhok. No teams are going to die this early, which I'm pretty happy to see. So I'm going to go on the random off-topic there while we have a little bit of time while not too much is happening. So this is especially for the viewers because we talked about this before during the break with DK. We were comparing tea and coffee and what was the most popular drink. And I'm going to give just a few seconds to chat to give your answer. Which beverage do you think is the most popular? Oh, okay. You keep on going, but that's enough for me. Instantly taken out of the game by Blessing, that does have a profile picture of Luffy from One Piece, which instantly gives him some extra drip right off the bat. But yeah, tea and coffee, tell me in chat which one you think is the most popular, and I'll give you the answer in just about, I guess, 30 seconds, a minute. So we'll see. But yeah, what do you drink typically? What do you go for, DK?
Coffee. It's for world peace.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
What?
Coffee, it's for world peace purposes.
I think I've never heard those words string like that in a sentence before.
Like
now.
So yeah, it's best to talk to me after, you know, like after 2 cups of coffee.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah, because I've got a slow reboot in the system, you know. You catch me a little bit too early. I like not all the files have loaded just yet. Not everything has been cached, you know, like I'm still rebooting. So
my man's still on Windows Vista. Jeez. And he's getting there eventually, I guess.
95.
Yeah,
95.
95.
I'm still swapping out the floppies, you know, trying to get everything going.
Oh, damn. But yeah, so answer to the tea and coffee question. Tea is the most popular beverage, as it has how many cups was it? 6 billion cups of tea are made a day. A day, 6 billion. That is mental.
Yeah,
That's a big number.
that is. Oh, that's almost as crazy as what we could be seeing on this match here today. I mean, it's going to be interesting. Team Somalia holding a good position. Drogons, they've got that. Ooh.
We saw that.
I wanted to say something about the nade going in the right direction, but that was a bit of a oof right there.
Look, man, he's playing a game of squash, okay? He's following the rules. You bonk it against a wall or a rock or whatever you can play with, okay? Not all of us are in such a privileged position where we can have access to a wall, okay? Sometimes you just have a rock and you got to make work with it. That's fine. And he's just trying his best. Smoke it up, though, trying to deny a little bit more vision. A little bit of an early push, though. The second smoke did not have time to actually explode and block out the vision. I like this, actually, from Somalia. They got such a good off angle. That is such an amazing setup from the Beast. And now he's just going to absolutely mow them down. He goes for the second. Sure, he gets knocked, but he done exactly what he was supposed to do. Get himself that knock. And you got to be careful there. There's another player coming down from the more western side of this position. Junior also trying to pull a little bit of a trick. I outsmarted, you're outsmarting. That's what they would say if you're looking. And things are going definitely in an interesting fashion, as a lot of smokes are going to be used up by Junior. This really feels
beautiful clutch.
Yeah.
We saw that beautiful clutch from Junior. I mean, just yesterday. So I've got faith. You know, he could pull this one off.
I just like this is really feeling like an episode of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I'm outsmarting you, outsmarting. And he's going to go a little bit wider, but King Gaming had time to also go wider himself with UMP. Tries to go for a little bit of an early spray in the Bloom shot. Where is he? Where is he down? Can he make it to the rock? Unfortunately, not in time, as Ghost gets confirmed away also by the molly of Hanad. So things aren't looking too good for the Drogons, and we said it right, DK. This is a team that has slipped out last game, out of the top 8. They cannot afford another bad result, but unfortunately, it seemed like it's happening again. And Shecky Boy, another player with a Luffy profile picture from One Piece, is going to have to move away, but unfortunately, with a little bit less drip this time around.
Yeah, I mean, that's just how it goes. You know, drip can only go one way, so makes sense. It makes sense. But now,
do you have the drip? Do you have?
No. I only get a drip when I go to hospital. That's pretty much it. Yeah, you know. But
to be expected, to be honest. I don't know what I was expecting here, but fair enough. Yes. Well, I hope you don't have the drip then.
No. Maybe like, I don't know. No, I blow my nose often enough, so that's also another thing. Well, maybe when I switch the percolator on, then there is a bit of a drip, but that's for coffee. But yeah, whatever. 4KT, of course, they're getting drawn into the action here. I mean, this is actually a very interesting position. I'm liking the spread from 4KT. So much coverage just on this intersection. Yeah,
this is a very typical way and meta way of defending these compounds. You want to have as much information as possible, and because the cross-section of this road is actually enclosed in between all these buildings, it gives you a lot of coverage. If you want to pop a smoke or two, of course, that is completely valid. It's completely okay for you to do so. But it just allows that, for example, Coer77, if he spots out a player, the rest of the team can actually join up in that building, or they can send 2 other players and keep on the other side to keep information coming their way. It's very easy to send players from building to building. So that is why you hold it typically as a 4-man split instead of just going for a 2-2 or a 3-1, whatever you want to try. A 4-man split is definitely a lot more efficient, I would say, in this kind of situations. Though, the kill feed did light up a little bit for a few seconds, as we did see, as Sully does bite the dust for a quick second, and his team is just way too far away. So, unfortunately, I believe that might just be the end of the road for Sully.
Yeah, very unfortunate position to be in. And now, Potato, he's the last man standing. I mean, Sully just getting taken right on down. Gunner finding a very, very easy, slow, and steady tap to kind of get the confirm on that one. Of course, hitting one of the many trees on the map. So this is not one of those situations where they run into the lone tree out in the open. There's actually quite a few of them right here. And I'm curious to see what G3 are going to be doing. I mean, they've also been pushing so hard to get into, you know, that first or second spot. Currently, it's still like a carrot just dangling in front of them. Still quite a bit of work to be done. But 4KT, I mean, they're just not backing off. They want to establish that dominance. They want to establish that lead. And they just putting in so much effort to ensure that they retain the position they're currently in.
Yeah, if this team has, of course, a slogan, it would be YOLO. I think that would be the best one for 4KT. They just see a fight opportunity like, we're going to go for it. We're going to take it right now. how about we go for the fight? I think that's a good idea. I don't know. It's working out sometimes. Not last game, unfortunately, as it did have a few too many teams on their back to try and get rid of and shake off, but didn't quite go their way. And it seemed like they maybe saw some movement, maybe heard some audio cues that the team was going to be on top of this mountain. Somalia are not going to be very friendly neighbors, so luckily enough, Slime 4K team make it out in the nick of time, and they got Pronto back in this game. And like the first day of the finals where they had Fex, which I think was doing some pretty good moves, but it's a cool thing that they have. How many subs do they have? Like 2 or 3, I think? All right, they definitely got...
I think they're only allowed 2.
Okay, maybe, because on Wikipedia you have a spot for like coach or manager, I think, so you see them too. But yeah, it's good to be able to swap players in and out a little bit more. But I would like to see a little bit more Fex, especially because I think he is very talented and maybe not talked about enough.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some pretty amazing plays come in from Fex. So, but maybe they're resting him for the final day. We don't know.
2 days of rest.
Yeah.
That is a very good rest. I'll tell you that much, man.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, you got to limber up those fingers. I mean, this is quite strenuous on the hands. You know, it's one of those things. It makes sense. I get it. I understand it. Now you just got to see it, you know, come to fruition. And now, of course, Storm, as per usual, just out up ahead, scouting it out, trying to see if he can establish anything. And he's got to be so careful. I mean, he's right there in the danger zone, almost right alongside the side of Gun. So I'm hoping that he's able to gather that information without acting. I'm pretty sure that's what he's going to do. You know, just gather the information, relay that back to the team, and then we're going to see that whole strategy come into play. Ooh.
Oh no, in gaming gonna have to fight a few bullets by sled, and then somebody confirmed out by Wisco. Blackjack, of course, we said it. This team needs to have an amazing day. They started off the first game really well. Took themselves a really strong amount of points coming their way. They need a lot more, of course, to make up for their unfortunate results that they had in their 2 first days. But still, point to the matter, which is that we need to see a lot more come in their favor. So hopefully they can start going that way once again. And he talked about it, right? You don't see too many circles end around Quarry Kampong. The circle is going to go there. But if DK, which is a professional esports caster, very knowledgeable about PUBG Mobile, and if he does not see a circle, the odds are these teams and players have not seen that circle a lot either. So the amount of experience on a circle like this might be dwindling, so teams don't know the terrain all that much.
I gotta talk more about these zones, though. I mean, look at this play, though. Oh, leader! Wow!
What was that right
there?
there?
That was a cheeky shot. I mean, no lag there. I mean, lag causing lag, but man, they're definitely not experiencing any of it. It's just the teams on the opposite end, though. They are receiving it, as you can see. Frozen now also just quickly getting dealt with there, and now it's up to Akina and Slay. Ooh, but down goes Slay.
That is such good position from Fantasy. He knew exactly where the players were coming. That is such good information sharing through the entirety of lag. And they just played it so well. Is there a... Oh, I thought Pala was actually up, but no, he just unfortunately bled to his death. So that's going to be him out. Trying to get his teammate back on his 2 feet. That's going to be it. Killer back on board, but... Going to try and molly it up. And he's not peeking over that real ridge, which I think he should. I think it will be so strong, but Potato is here to ruin the party. Steals 1 kill away from lag. That could have been theirs, but unfortunately a little bit too slow to respond and go for the push. Did they hear that shot? Did they know the Potato's over there? Because you don't want to be too adventurous. Now he pushed this one. Slay will get taken down. That's the 3rd kill over to lag. But luckily enough, they don't go in the open loving arms of Potato right behind. They just take the kill and swiftly move back.
Yeah, that was a really strong play coming in from lag. And I mean, Fantasy just making that off-angle play work so well. And I mean, now the pressure is on. Potato, he needs to try and bring this one in. He needs to try and find his way back into that zone. He's got a little bit of the ground to cover to make it in successfully. But lag, up ahead, they just bringing in that extra level. Will he be able to close it in all the way? We don't know. But now, of course, that quick reposition back in the direction of zone is going to start coming through as leader now disengages ever so slightly, but they're still pretty wary of Potato right behind them. And actually, this is 3rd phase. They can still afford to play the edge of blue a little bit, but ideally, you would want a vehicle to get your butt back up into zone. And looking at this southern edge, it is looking pretty tough, though, as Young Thunder take quite a few hits.
I very rarely see a circle end here, and it is really fun to see how the teams are going to answer and respond to a circle like this and to this type of terrain. Superior, got to be careful, don't get caught up by the blue zone, otherwise, see you later, alligator, things aren't going to go your way. Nice spray. Unfortunately, M4, the spray at that kind of distance, you're looking like 150, 200 meters, starting to be a little bit hard to actually connect those shots. So KHK will be able to hide away. They're going to heal up. 33 bandages for Pennywise. What are we going to do? Throw them at people and kill them with it? Jesus, that's a little bit overkill.
He's not clowning. I mean, he's here. He's ready. He knows what needs to be done. I mean, after all, this is Sanhok. It is a map that allows for that heal strat to come in. And he already probably started at the end of...
Whoa! Okay. That was disgusting, Executive. What the hell was that? Of course, the blue zone put him a little bit too low there, and he's going to be taken down, but what a good fight back from one of those players. But here you go. Kampong finish is going to be potentially happening, DK. I have never seen a Kampong finish in my entire 2 years of costing PUBG Mobile, so this could be a very big first.
Yeah. I mean, like I said before, I should actually call out these zones more often because they go exactly where I want them to go. So this is amazing.
I know, right? Wow.
Yeah. I'm still thinking it's gonna go in between Quarry and Kampong. That's what I'm guessing. So I think the next shift could potentially be to the west. Slight bit, and IBX just steps up and puts a very quick end to Hanat there. Team Somalia get eliminated, and now 14 teams remain. I mean, only 2 teams having been sent back so far. RRAGE with 1 point on the board. Team Somalia with 3 on board. It's going to be a pretty crazy zone coming into these final few phases.
Oh, a good attempt from leader, but Slime are just not interested with that. They just want to leave. 4KT are looking for position to the circle, though you might get a little bit of action between themselves and Aphelion Apex. Aphelion Apex talking about their position. Got himself a player that's very far away, and it's going to be having a little bit of a clash with Rila Insider, so you got to be careful how that fight actually unfolds. As Drogons, another poor performance here, DK. Not what you want to see from this team. And Slime 4KT, another game where they're not going to get the points that they were hopefully expecting to get. They will also bite the dust, eliminated in 13th. 12 teams now remain, and this is where things are starting to get very, very scary for a lot of these teams. There's not a lot of compounds. You have Kampong, of course, and a few sheds to play from. But other than that, is this pure terrain, bushes, trees, and rocks to play around, and of course, smokes if you have them, which is meaning that teams are going to have to put a lot of effort to find good positions to fight from now.
Yeah, this is going to be a really essential play for the players here from Aphelion. I mean, they've been pushing hard as well. They already got that 1 chicken on board. 66 points in total, sitting in 6th place. Are they going to bring it in and potentially move into that top 5? It's going to be a pretty tough play. Nice, decent spray coming in there from Plaza. We can see Gun just holding up in towards the compounds. Now fainted down to Dizzy, trying to make a bit of a play there. But Blackjack also still in the mix. I'm curious to see how they're going to end this game. They've already been stepping up in the previous match, but will they be able to improve on that position coming into this?
Yeah, like Kylo Ren says, we need more! Yeah, you get that one? Okay, watch Star Wars. Is that enough of a boomer movie for you? Are you good?
Aww.
There you go. I'm trying to adapt to you, you know? I'm trying to be friendly for all boomers and zoomers alike. There we go. That's what we're doing over here. We're trying to be all-inclusive. The circle moves, and it actually does have Kampong still in play for this 5th circle, but only just about 50% of the compound itself. And the team that's looking amazing here. It clearly has to be Mezexis DK. But be careful. You have a few players in the wings, and especially Sicko of Aphelion Apex is way too close for comfort, and Mezexis need to be very careful. He's moving around, making a lot of audio cues. Sicko is just a few meters nearby. He spotted out the rest of Aphelion Apex. He knows they're getting pushed up, but he has no idea that right behind that rock there is a player. There's Sicko, and he has no idea he's there.
Yeah, this is going to be crazy. I mean, Sicko just playing so patiently. Matrix right there alongside him, but I mean, already we see those heal strats actually starting to come through. Oh, never mind. IBX gets taken out by the blue. Down he goes. Wisco also gets eliminated, and now 9 teams remain. Aphelion Apex still going to be trying to push in from this western side. They do have the players here from Mezexis right in front of them. Oh, sneaky shot though from Matrix right onto Reverb.
And he's not sweating it. Oh, that pin should have been hurt by Matrix, but no, he has no idea. Didn't hear the pin at all. Grenade explodes a little bit too far, but he strikes. And the surprise is no more. Sicko himself maybe one more bullet. He gets it done with a Thompson. Gonna have to reload though. And hide again, but unfortunately not in a nick of time as he gets picked up. Oxen trying to close that gap further and further, trying to stop that initial push from Aphelion Apex. But once again, angles are being found everywhere for Aphelion Apex. Sicko might just be brought back on his 2 feet. But Pyro needs to get more and more involved. He needs to get into the thick of this fight. Unfortunately, it is too late. 2 players confirmed. Matrix and Holcim now confirmed out of this lobby. Mercury a little bit too far away to actually get fully involved. Things aren't looking to go the way of Mezexis. As Sicko once again sent straight back into the afterlife. Another knock will follow up with that great spray. Where's the rest of Aphelion Apex? You still have 2 players, but they're nowhere near the fight. They need to get involved right now.
Yeah, this is an absolute crucial play, but Mezexis, they just stepping up, they're holding their own Pyro, just laying down the Lord, just absolutely brutal with that Tommy gun. Now also getting eliminated over in 8th place, and this is such an interesting match. Rila Insider also get eliminated. Down they go. Mezexis still in the play, still in the running, and actually now making their way up in towards that northwestern side. Meanwhile, Aphelion Apex now getting caught by the blue. Oh, it's going to be absolutely dire for them. Blessin needs to bless himself into that blue zone, or out of the blue rather, get into the safe zone. Meanwhile, Pyro keeping a very watchful eye on the high ground here.
Trying to go plus ultra and finish like this, of course. If you're not in the circle, things are going to get very dire for you. G3 in the compound down below, trying to best to stay sheltered away from those bullets that are going to be raining in their direction. But unfortunately, easier said than done as Gunner gets picked up. Mezexis. Now maybe have to share a portion of this mountain top. Gets the infill to Potato. See you later, mates. It was good knowing you. And that's a double-digit kill count for Blackjack Esports. They are coming back in our rankings so hard, DK. As Reverb, on the last second on that final take, does get the first aid. But will he be able to make it in circle? I think he might just barely make it. And he will make it inside Reverb. That is way too close. But I do believe he got spotted out by Pyro with the ghillie suit. And that nade is ready to blow up.
Oh, man, this is absolutely insane. I mean, Blackjack coming back with a vengeance. They want to inch their way up. Reverb just managing to stay ahead. Just looking at the flames in front of his face. Pyro, of course, now instigating that, trying to get those utilities sent in it to the proper spot. Mercury Pyro holding strong. Zone is shifting up once again. That blue zone is finding its way in, but this is down to the wire now. Reverb, he's just tempting fate.
There's always a player of KHK healing on Sanhok. I swear, it's a strategy. They go always ready, but Blessing. It's going to be Blessing. Reverb was a big bunch of holes in his body, as he also gets picked up in the way. Aphelion Apex eliminated in 4th place. 3 teams currently remain. KHK hoping. It is Lewis currently healing, hoping to steal away. I don't know if we can see exactly how many first aids he currently has, but it's just a matter of timing for Lewis to see how far he can actually push into this one. Currently sees on his last first aid kit. This is his final one, and Lewis is now going to go to bandages and hopefully trying to survive a little bit longer, but it is not going to function. But it is still a top 3 DK, which is huge. But Reverb, in the meantime, did get confirmed. Cheddar now in a 1v2, trying to hide in those bushes. They have no idea. Where's he standing? Is he over to the right? They see that smoke, aware that something might be happening. Cooking up in a pot of evil. The Blackjack Esports are hoping to take this 1v2, hoping to get himself a win. This will be the very first win in these finals, and it's desperately needed. Mercury jumps up, gives a little bit of information, trying to go for the shot. That's very early, gonna have to move away. Now you took that shot, you cannot remain stationary. You need to be all over the place to try and take information away. Gets prone back once again. Seemed like he had enough time. Mezexis is trying to set up a little bit of a one-on-one split. Goes for the utility. There was a nade. The pin goes on wide. A little bit of an audio cue. He's now just rushing down the hilltop. Pyro gets the information early, pre-fire, and it will not be working out for Blackjack Esports, as Mezexis will be securing himself a win coming away over here on Sanhok, and it is greatly deserved. They had a high ground position. It was really well played, and it does result in a win coming their way.
Yeah, I gotta say though, I mean, Pyro, they were just playing that hilltop so beautifully.
Yeah.
I mean, the downfall there for Blackjack was when we saw Blessin come in with that sneaky shot from out the blue just before getting taken down. That was the turning point. And yeah, it really put a lot of pressure on Cheddar to try and push through that, but still at a very valiant effort coming in there.
I'm actually thinking, has KHK got a top 3 every single Sanhok game in the finals? Something to think about. I think they have. Well, I'll check it out during the break. We'll have to see. But anyways, before we do get into the break, we're going to have to look at the match rankings to see exactly how many points have been picked up by some of these teams. Mezexis, looking into the overall rankings before this game, they were standing in actually 7th place. Not too shabby, especially for a team that now just got himself the win. They could be pushing themselves up closer to top 3. I think that this game is definitely going to put them in top 5. We'll have to see after the break, of course. The Blackjack, that's another strong result. This team is actually making the unthinkable thinkable again, coming back with 2 more days of play and might be thinking and aiming for the top 5 after today.
Yeah, I mean that is a really interesting push coming in there from them. I mean, this is essentially what we want to see. We want to see that consistency come through, and moving on to the next spot. We did see some interesting plays come in, but it's looking really tough on the second page.
Oh, I just realized again, Drogons, man, got another bad performance. Oh, come on. You need to get back on track now. You still got 6 more games before we do crown our best team here in the African PMCO. Drogons have fallen off from grace. Gun, also another poor result. We need to see more of this team in general. We talked about it, and we already set up a lot of expectations for some of these teams coming into this. So we'll see if they can try and deliver in our next 2 games. Next one is going to be on Miramar. That, insanely so, I'm actually going to be casting with DK. James is not here. I fired him. He's not coming up anytime soon. This is my Miramar game with DK. I'm very happy. There you go. Clap, clap for me. But before that, of course, we're going to head on over to a short break before we can get into that one. We're just going to prepare real quick and give time to these teams to prepare. So we'll be back in just a few short minutes.
Oppo Rena 5. Cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Rena 5. Hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Mezexis take home the second game of the day, and we're now going to be heading over to our next game. It's going to be, as always, our third game over on the map of
Miramar.
Miramar.
Miramar is fine.
Miramar. We're gonna go to. I don't know. I never cast this map, so I don't even know why it's called Miramar. Yeah, Miramar is going to be a really fun one. Any favorites in mind for this game potentially, DK, for Miramar?
Ooh, I mean, this could potentially be the game in which we see G3 actually just maybe catching up. I mean, they've closed the gap to only 29 points now, so yeah, maybe they could.
Yes, I believe that G3 Tempo is a very strong Miramar team. I think it's their favorite map. Miramar is very, very popular among the G3 Tempo players. We'll see what they can try. But of course, we're going to look at the overall rankings very soon. Actually, I'm going to snap my fingers and they're going to pop up right now. Wait. It's fine. Don't worry. We were almost there. But KHK make the Kings fall off. Now standing in first place with 138 points, 7 above Slime 4KT was 131 to their name. It's absolutely amazing to see KHK able to remain so consistent since day one, now heading into our third day of play. But one thing that we've seen here, DK, for the first time, and we're looking at the bottom of this first page, and that is Blackjack Esports for the first time actually being in the top 8. That is amazing to see.
Yeah, I mean, that's been quite a bit of climbing all the way out of that 14th, 15th place, pushing all the way up into 8th. So I'm hopeful that we could see a continuation of those efforts coming in the remainder of the games. But I mean, some really strong counts coming in. I mean, even looking at the players here from Influence Rage, they are only 2 points behind the players there from Blackjack. And even Team Somalia, 4 points behind that, tied with the players from Team Lag. So it is still very neck and neck to get onto that second page.
Yeah, the thing is, right, when you're looking at the middle of the pack and also at the bottom, just a good game can allow you to jump so many extra points. So that happened for Mezexis. They were 7th, and after that win, they're currently in 5th place. So one single game can set you apart pretty heavily. But don't forget, as always, if you want to put yourself high in the rankings, you need to be born to win. Welcome to the exciting match brought to you by Oppo. Get your gamer mode on with the much-loved Renault 5 series. As now we're on the good old sandy dunes of Miramar. My favorite map. I love it. My favorite map of Banks too. I'm sure you absolutely love this one. As the playing path is going to be relatively friendly. Most of the team like to drop in the more northern or eastern coastline, or relatively centered too. But if you like to go in Valdemar or positions around that spot, might have to go for secondary drop location or go for car drop, which is completely A-okay. But yeah, we'll see. I want to see if we can continue having such a big leap forward from Blackjack Esports. They've just been leapfrogging over teams every single game so far. First game, absolute banger. Second game, also an absolute banger, taking home that second place. But can they make it come to fruition over here on Miramar? We'll have to see, DK.
Yeah, I mean, we definitely know that they do have the potential to pull off a move like that, right? But whether or not we're going to see it happen, that will still remain to be seen, as, you know, it is a pretty high-stakes game still. It's not going to be an easy walk in the park for any of these teams. And, I mean, just looking at what we saw in the spring split, that is where Blackjack actually finished up in 3rd place. So based on that, we know they have the ability to finish strong in the PMCO. But will they have enough time still to make up for that point difference? If so, they're going to have to really bring in some phenomenal gameplay over the remaining games.
Yeah, I think that also one thing to keep in mind that's very important when you're looking at these teams that are maybe struggling at the start of the finals and then pushing himself back into it and actually maybe contesting the top of the leaderboards. I would say it's the mental state, DK, right? Where some teams sometimes under the pressure, when they know they're behind, they're like, it's not going to happen. We're not going to make it. And some teams just push themselves and say, okay, we can make it happen. We just need good games. Let's stay serious. Let's stay on board and keep our head above our shoulders and it will work out. And I think that that's one thing that maybe viewers just do not think about, but these are actually humans. I know it might be very hard to realize, but these are actually real people with blood in their veins and actually having emotions. So something to keep in mind that the mental state is something very important in esports, and sometimes it can just topple some of the top teams out there in the world.
Yeah, I mean, pressure is a real thing. Stress is a real thing. It can catch the best of us, and it all comes down to how the teams and the players are able to cope with the pressure, cope with the stress. I mean, yeah, well, that's one way, I guess. I'm not quite sure if that will really help you see what's happening on screen, but I guess you could probably try it. I don't know. I'll just leave it there. But over in towards Los Leones, again, it's one of those spots we don't see teams really fighting in all too often. It is a really difficult area and region to be fighting in. So I think it's quite healthy to see that only being partially within the current zone, and that we're not going to see the zone actually finish in here, because I mean, that is just absolutely brutal when that happens. And I'm curious to see, though, where it's going to go. But for the time being, Blackjack, FEINTED, both teams sitting here side by side, almost cheek to cheek, just trying to see who's going to be able to dominate this. And this could be a very important engagement for the side of FEINTED, seeing that they are only sitting on 23 points currently.
Not too good. Goes without saying. We want to see more points coming out from this team. He goes out. A little bit of an early spray. Connects a bullet or two onto Power. And that's very interesting from FEINTED, actually. I love how Power is literally on the forefront, takes damage, and says to his team, it's safe. Go for it. You can't hear his shots. It's safe. Go for it. Kind of toxic, but you know what? Shadow's going to pick up that car, get the hell out of here, and make it back with his team, which really is Lost Units, right? You don't have to fight. And just spread out a little bit more thinly, like Nutella on a good old part of bread. Just the thinner it is, the better. Sometimes depends how. After not talking like molecules thin, otherwise it's just not good. They get enough ratio of Nutella per inches of bread, and you really need that. But
yeah,
here's definitely going to be a position to work down. I like this spread, especially from Blackjack, because it's just set up as somewhat of a net. And if a team tries to push through, then they're going to be able to find the kills. But unfortunately, they took some very early shots, especially Cheddar. So FEINTED are aware that the team is there, so they're going to maybe go for a wider rotation, which is what we're seeing right now, to make sure they don't get caught in the Blackjack Esports net.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty tough play to try and bring that in. But, it's interesting you talk about Nutella. I mean, like...
I make you hungry? Are you gonna finish a pot of Nutella in like 5 minutes now?
No, probably 3. I mean, just don't ever give me mousse, because that would go from a full tub to an empty tub in seconds.
Well, chocolate mousse.
Yeah, dark chocolate mousse. Like, I devour that like it's no one's business. But
okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's one thing that I'm jealous of you being in France, is the baguettes with the Nutella on it. I mean, you get those tubs of Nutella in the shop there. It's amazing. But yeah,
it's amazing.
Let's not go there. Yeah,
you really feel the passion there, man. Your cast, and the most passion I've seen is when you're talking about Nutella, man. That goes to say,
yeah,
something wrong may be happening. Hey,
but that's where I can say, le français c'est mon préféré.
Ooh, très bien,
c'est
oui.
Très bon. C'est très bon. Oh, c'est magnifique, non?
I swear I love your accent in French, man. It's bad, but I love it.
It's okay. I mean, that's what I'm counting on,
Exactly. You come over here, man. The girls are going to love you, man. She's going to like, say it again, Dexter. Omelette du fromage. Oh, yes. Fantastic. Love it. Le Nutella sur le pain, oui, oui. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I don't know. I am kind of a weirdo because I'm not that fan of a Nutella. I know everyone likes it, but it's not my go-to snack. I personally enjoy myself some Oreos or... You know Speculoos, right? You know they got some like Nutella, but it's made of speculoos, and it's so good. I love that.
Oh,
I would have that every day. That just like with you with the chocolate mousse, I'll just take it. Give me a spoon, give me the jar, and just it's gone.
Oh.
It's no more. Disappears. We'll see. Fantasy M249 that range. Yeah, we're not recommended to take a shot. Also doesn't have the increased ammo capacity. Only 75 bullets right now. In Somalia, just gonna be cruising by, taking that spot under control. It's good. I mean, we also saw that circle right. There's no reasons for fights to happen right now, so he's just gonna allow it to happen.
The trick with the M249 at that range is like if he starts spraying, he might even hit the plane. Because that's just how
a
that
random
recoil
bird
goes.
Just a random bird, like just instantly picked up.
Yeah.
Do you have a tip? Do you have a trick for holding on the recoil of the M249 or not? 'Cause I don't know. Do you play with gyro or without?
I play without gyro.
Without gyro.
Because I also play on iPad like you know, so I've got enough screen space to use for recoil control.
A fellow pleb, welcome. But yeah, so you don't have to.
I'm about to get the second one, so.
The second one? Or the newer one?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah. M1.
Okay, good one. But of course, if you are playing on phone, it's best to go for the Renault 5 Series. Don't forget that one, ladies and gentlemen. Because if you want to get yourself a pro gamer like all these guys over here, Renault 5 Series is definitely the way to go. Brought to you by Oppo. Don't forget that. Look at this. It's probably going to go for the spray. And that spray is so good. Sure, it doesn't connect. He has very little recoil because he's on the Renault 5 Series.
Must
Proof
be.
of concept.
Must be. Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, Zero and Leader. I mean, like, I know I've been poking a bit of fun at Zero, you know, going from Zero to Hero, but he's like that secret weapon, like that ninja that you keep in your pocket.
Or the streamer?
You know,
I don't keep a streamer in my pocket. Sorry, I don't need that.
The one that you deploy at exactly the right moment. And we've seen some of those clutch plays come in from Zero. So, yeah, it's a really interesting play that we see the players there from Lag actually utilize, you know?
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever seen Zero with... I don't think I've ever seen him with more than 2 kills in a game.
But we've seen Zero with 0 kills in a game. That's for sure.
That we definitely have.
It's very on brand, to be honest. I would expect no less. Very on brand. Very good branding. Keep it up, boy. We'll see if he can try and get himself another 0 pointer this time. It's Frozen a little bit stretched out away from his team. And in a dip 2, 1A would be very easy to connect. Or some mollies. That will work too. I'm completely okay with that one. Frozen's got to be careful. Having to move out. You can't peek over that position right now. RRAGE, what is the plan? Do you allow Frozen to get back into the car and get back to safety with his team? Gonna try a slow P, trying to take a sneaky angle from that rooftop. Frozen, if he can get out, is at his own risk. Gonna have to get in that car, hopefully just zoom on by and pick up some speed and momentum. Really strong spray as it does get traded away. Frozen does get his head blown right off. Very unfortunate for him. Now the kills are getting confirmed. Somalia are struggling to survive. Smoke comes out, the car to explode, but look out, Chapo. That position is huge, DK.
Yep, that is a really interesting play coming in from El Chapo. I'm hoping that he could capitalize on that. He just got to play these ridge lines to near perfection just to sneak in, find that angle. But having Beast and Kingman on the offside really does assist him in potentially making that happen, as we can see Kingman now looking to advance and a few more sprays coming in straight over to Bala. What? This is going absolutely insane, though. But Beast and the players here from Team Somalia still continuing with the efforts. Slay even pushing in on El Chapo.
Yeah, man, I'm surprised. El Chapo had a pretty strong spot, but a little bit of low ground. So I understand why he does not want to take that fight. He was definitely at a disadvantage. Moving out. I'm surprised we're seeing these players just start moving with very minimal coverage. And it works out sometimes, and sometimes it doesn't. Like there, it doesn't work out, and that's going to be Frozen. Bites the dust, a bullet in the head. It's work done real quick. As El Chapo thinking, we get another knock. I'm going to get back in position. Maybe. Could work out. Very big, very smart. And now they are all closing that gap. They're all making their way inside the compound. And they're knocking on the door, and they're going to be tearing it down as RRAGE are down now to 2 players. It's a 3v2. This is Team Somalia's fight to lose if they do not execute their play properly.
Yep, it's going to be a pretty tough play nonetheless. But I'm liking this a little bit of a show of aggression coming in from Team Somalia. Also not overcommitting to that rotation just yet. They're just testing the position of RRAGE. And now with Akina and Six Slay, the two remaining hopefuls there for the side of RRAGE, it is going to be a pretty tough fight. But we do see the players there from FEINTED also not too far away, over on towards that northwestern side. So if they get into engagement, they need to be so quick about it, because too much of a gunfight is definitely going to start drawing that unwanted attention in.
I would even potentially send play on the rooftops. I think that'd be great to get a little bit of a better view from time to time, especially with that third-person perspective. That is the only reason why it will be viable. FEINTED in the background, going to be moving a little bit closer. Don't think they're going to get fully involved. It wouldn't make too much sense, but Aquino did see was playing with a VSS too, so maybe not the best weapon to try and defend a breach. Hopefully he's got himself another weapon ready to go. Slay OP is going to try and jump out, made a big audio cue, spotted out by the Beast. He's just too fast. He's feeling like damn Sonic right now. As a Beast, going to try and make his way through inside the building, buy a little bit more time to hopefully reload, get that other weapon in. That's the M4 with 40 bullets, ready to go by any time. And that's a jump shot from the ceiling, which is what we wanted to see from the rooftop, but loses the trade-off to against Slay OP. And now it's 2v2, and we said it, this is the fight for Team Somalia to really potentially win, but that's another player picked up, and now he's down to only one player. El Chopper in a 1v2. Can he make it work out? Can he bring back this game from the grasp of death? One more bullet, needs it once again. Go for the spray, picks it up, closes the door behind him, and that is actually going to be saving his life for a sheer second. 9 more bullets, has to reload, get the UMP up to 35. The Slayer has no idea. Where's he standing? Behind that crate, inside the building. He has no clue. That nade goes in wide with literally very minimal information. He's thinking, die fighters, die leave. Not gonna lie, seeing where RRAGE currently stand in the overall rankings, they need some good performances. They're 7th place. If you want to have a hope of making in top 3, you cannot afford to die now.
Yeah, it's going to be absolutely essential. But also for Team Somalia, I mean, they're looking to improve that standing. They're looking to get up into top 8. And, I mean, only 15 points difference between RRAGE and the players here from Team Somalia. But a beautiful grenade getting sent out. Fortunately for Slay, he was on the opposite side. But now they're chasing each other down. It's like, pin the nade
You're it.
on the player.
You're it. You're running away. I'll catch him. Little game of ping pong right now. Just do minimal damage on the old Chapo. A lot of damage actually onto Slay OP. And the second might just be the one if it bounces properly. A little bit short, a little bit overcooked also. Game of hide and seek now. Peekaboo, I count to 20. See where it goes. Goes back potentially for the rooftop, which I think is a good play. You're going to make a lot of audio cues. And now he's hearing the metallic footsteps. He knows he's on the rooftop. Slopey's got to be fully aware. Maybe hide inside a building would be the best option, which is exactly what he's going to try and attempt, I believe. He's just running all about and makes it inside a building. He is safe. On the rooftop play from El Chapo as he drops on down and gets rid of Slay OP. I thought he knew where he was standing because of the metallic sound, but he doesn't. He's dead. He's trying to play piano. Yeah. Look at that. It's fine.
He's just making sure. He's just making sure, you know, like, cue the music. That was it. Well done, well played. But ideally, you know, we would have preferred Slay to just remain motionless. I mean, if you're playing cat and mouse, that is essentially what the mouse does. You know, just stands still, tries to move as little as possible, meanwhile waiting for those audio cues. So, yeah, gotta say, well played there by El Chapo. Well done, well executed. And now, as we move on, we head straight on in towards a more centralized position, actually up in towards Hacienda del Patron. And this is where Influence, Rage, and Gun are actually just holding their positions. They just casually staring at each other. The sprays are coming through. Vindex takes quite a bit of a beating there. A few shots to the head, but manages to quickly duck in behind that hard cover.
That last fight lasted so long with Team Somalia versus RRAGE that I just realized we're about to go into phase 4. This game's just been zooming by so quick because of that fight. I mean, it's been interesting. It made the early game a little bit more interesting. Normally, Miramar is relatively slow at the very start. Big circle shift, though, straight up north. Huge circle potential for Slime 4KT, but also for KHK. Having to do minimal effort for their rotation. 2 very, and I mean very strong compounds to hold on to, even though I would recommend the one that's right below the E of water treatment. I mean, in the E of water, at least. Or if you're in the UK, water. That's how you're going to be saying that one out, as Eyes is going to be there to get the information, scout it out. Boom, that position's free. The 2 other players are going to join up. KHK have a gold mine of a position to play from.
Yeah, really a strong position to be in, position right under that fourth letter, as you were rightly pointing out. But now,
Water.
I mean, this is where the south is going to be so heavily congested. The players here from Lag still trying to make a bit of a play. Insider also just keeping a very watchful eye on them. But this is where I would rather reposition back up into zone. You know, this transition from 4th to 5th phase, that blue zone doesn't wait for anyone. And it's already starting to close in. And what?
Get out of here!
Yeah. A little bit of bumper car there. Ooh, they're gonna clash. Look at this.
Oh, trying to switch out. Zero, not sure what he's trying to do. He's in a mix of it. They jumped out. Clutcher now abandoned, having to walk up, doing the walk of shame as he's spotted away. And Clutcher will regret that decision wholeheartedly. MZR understand. Ooh, this compound's kind of overtaken by Rila Insider. We shall leave. For now, at least. We might come back later. Drogons going to lose another player. That's going to be Go. See you later, Alligator. Was called Senior. Clutcher, surprised that guy is still alive. He took a very big risk jumping out for that fight. The blue zone is now ticking on down, closing around these teams and circle. You need to make it in there because about, I would say, 70% of the lobby is not in circle. You need to start running like this instant.
Yeah. You should have started running in that first phase already. It's a little bit of distance to cover, quite a bit of ground, and we can actually see quite a bit of convergence up ahead. I mean, we've got the Young Thunder team alongside FEINTED, as well as, oh, an explosion as Rowe gets blown to smithereens. Leader also getting blown up, but this is Young Thunder now looking to strike, trying to close it up. Oh, yes, sir, Bob. They find the hits. Down goes Rila Insider, and a beautiful play for Young Thunder.
You say yesery a lot. Are you a Mezexis? Do you come from Rick and Morty? Something happening there.
No, but I heard it's a thing on Rick and Morty.
Yesery? I don't know how you said it. I can't even say it, Mezexis.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how it goes. We'll see, though. Executive. Trying to get as much intel as that third-person perspective. Not able to get as much as you would initially expect, but at least trying to make something of it. Dizzy trying to cross over the road. Unfortunately, meets his doom a little bit earlier than expected. Res is still, of course, possible, but very hard to execute as Dizzy's going to have to crawl his way down, and that could be a huge opportunity for G3 to strike, although the opportunity is still there. Good nades. Unfortunately, the cooking a little bit off, allowing Power to remain unscathed for now, at least. Third nade might be the charm, but unfortunately, Power is already long gone. He's just going to try and make it back towards his team. But unfortunately, in a position like this, I have low hopes for Power. He is just surrounded by foes, and making it back to your team would be a miracle by now.
Yeah, it's going to be a really tricky play, and that zone is about to pop up once again.
Wow.
Oh,
KHK.
wow.
Let's go. Okay.
I mean, KHK, they're sitting so golden in that zone, in the compound. They just like in the prime position to be in. I mean, Apex, they're also pretty close to that. Mezexis is holding onto that eastern side, just over and towards that fuel station. I'm curious to see like where the remaining teams are going to try and go. We can see Sudi now trying to make a run for that bless and just welcoming him into the zone. But meanwhile, down in the south, it's still going to be quite a bit of a fight to try and get that rotation back in. It's Blackjack, it is FEINTED, it is G3. It's going to be quite treacherous.
Oh, he's going to try and zoom his way out of that one. Let's see how Power can potentially make it out. Gun also going to be popping into the kill feed, but unfortunately not for the right reason. Pound is going to be biting a few bullets of lead. Zero picked up. Unfortunately, Zero will not go to hero this time. He'll remain as a zero this game. G3 were able to heal up from their wounds, get into the cars, and move the hell out of Hacienda del Patron position, because that is not the spot you want to fight from. Power, though, remaining silent for now, but Mike spotted out, and he's not silent anymore. He breaks the silent treaty, and he is going to be striking, picking up the third kill for FEINTED. And the entirety of G3 just like, hey, you know what? That's a kill, but we need to move into the circle. This is our main focus. So Power is left alive, which I didn't think that was possible, but great for him. And if he gets above that ridge line, he could actually get a lot of kills with that Mini 14.
Yeah, you could do quite a bit of damage, cause quite a bit of carnage in there. And I mean, just looking at the absolute chaos up ahead, this has been quite a bit of a fight. We've got BJE, we've got Apex, we've got Gun, all just fighting for their lives, trying to secure the compound, trying to make it work. And INF, they get eliminated, and it is now up to MG to try and bring that one in. Plaza still slowly bleeding out. But we got Short Boy, we got Nerf Beat just holding on that off angle, trying to move in, getting caught out in the open, and Sony says, "Thou shalt not pass," lays down the law, comes in with a beautiful spray, and now it is up to Short Boy to bring it home.
Yeah, that's going to be the attempt of all of them. We'll see how far they can try and push this game. Come on, Gun. You got one more player. Potentially Plaza can be brought back in, but it doesn't seem like he is ready to take the silent approach. He's going to go all out on this fight. While Plaza is still ticking away, so that kill could get confirmed anytime soon. And Sicko has no intention of allowing Gun to make it out alive. Aimer of Slime 4KT gets picked up. Their numbers are now going to be dwindling away heavily. Pronto will be able to get revenge for his fallen teammate, but not too much will be happening as G3 Temper, one of the big names, eliminated in top 10. And now, wow, okay, we're losing a lot of teams. Now we're down to 7 teams remaining. And all of them will just get absolutely shattered on the edge of the circle. Slime 4KT still in the game. KHK still as a full squad. And MZR just sneaks up north, avoided all of this current action happening on the southern edge. And they have a very clear possibility of making it right into the circle, which is insane, as Gun lose their final player, and they will be eliminated in 7th.
It's gonna be it's gonna be such a tough position to play, especially with the 4KT and KHK on the high ground there. It's gonna be so difficult for MZR to try and gain a successful rotation back up into zone. And I mean, Pyro coming in with a little bit of that bolty action, just trying to get the knock up into Sicko. It's gonna be a tough one. I mean, yeah, I'm glad I'm watching this and not playing. It's
trying to fight back against bolt action. Pyro might want to try and hide inside that. Hop on in, my dude. Hop on in. Slime 4KT actually able to get himself the res. This 12 is a 4-man, so that's huge. There you go. They spot out one. Aimer gets the headshot. Instantly, the kill will be confirmed, and they even get the second over onto Stony. That is double. But they got Fex, actually. I just realized Fex is in the game. Woo! We got some Fex action this time. But they do also lose himself one of the players that was there earlier, so welcome back on board, my dude. It's great seeing you. There's another looking for a little bit of a sneaky rooftop play. Rooftop play at this stage is risky, but when you have this type of terrain, it is amazing to make sure MZR cannot move anywhere. That's it. That's the first one. Only Blood 14 is left remaining, and MZR could have been the surprise of this game, but unfortunately, KHK are just too damn good at paying attention to their surroundings.
Yeah, that is some really good awareness coming in from them. And of course, the cherry on the cake is the drop moving down in between all these teams. And I mean, 4KT still looking pretty golden. KHK also looking pretty strong. They're just playing this ridge line, looking to dominate. And now the pressure is coming in as the players from Mezexis are feeling those shots, those stings, finding their way straight on. Infex, of course, getting rest right back on up. And 4KT now back in fighting form. And it's 6 kills in favor of the players there from KHK. 8 on board for Slime 4KT. Mezexis and Blackjack also still in the mix. MG just holding on for dear life, just trying to crawl his way back up into that zone. And it is going to be an absolutely crazy play as KHK apply the pressure once again now. Mezexis just trying to play that ridge line, but they can't find their way up onto the plateau.
This, if we see KHK remain in the top 3, this would be 3 top 3s back to back to back. One of those actually being a win on our first game of the day, which would be absolutely nuts when you think about it. They're going to be able to fight strong. Jairbot, of course, going to be knocked down, but still in a very strong spot, so that rest shouldn't be too complicated to actually come to fruition. And there you go. That's going to be Jairbot going for that instantly. Izu's going to be there to back him up. MG, can we have another top 3 from this team? They need it right now. They just barely made it in our top 8, currently standing with 70 points, and they are closing in on those top teams at the very top of the rankings. This game means so much for them. But of course, the circle is not an easy one, as most of the teams, except for a portion of Slime 4KT, will actually have to move in. So now, you need to try and diminish the numbers of the enemy teams right now to make your job a little bit easier later on down the line.
Oh, but so much work still remains. I mean, we are in the 7th phase, a few seconds away from the blue zone closure, heading up into the 8th phase. And this is where position in the zone is going to be absolutely essential. 4KT looking to just strengthen their position, moving up a little bit more, just edging themselves forward. But MG, he is remaining vigilant. He's just holding on, trying and waiting for that opportunity to come. He's keeping a very watchful eye, but up comes Mezexis now quickly with the rotation. The sprays come through. Down he goes, though, as the Matrix finds that finishing blow, putting a very quick end to the players from Blackjack, but 4KT still in the mix now, fighting it out, but Mezexis is so relentless.
Yeah, but a little bit on the low ground. You got to be careful. Right underneath the buggy. No escape away. Great nade will explode right above the head of Matrix, but unfortunately, the knock will not come to fruition for Slime 4KT. Second, though, might be throwing a spanner in the works a little bit too far this time around, but the idea is there. Matrix is not safe. Far away from that. Oh, there's such a small gap. Boxing will not be hit by that nade, by that, sorry, from those bullets, should I say, from Pronto. But Magix makes it closer, a little bit safer from those possible nades coming his way, as Slime 4KT are now pinched close to the blue zone, as KHK are now taking more and more control, slowly but surely moving out of that compound. They still got an insane amount of smokes because this team has been relatively passive in terms of utility right now. So they have an insane amount of ways to block out visibility away from Slime 4KT, away from Mezexis. So they are the team that could ruin everything in this game.
Oh, man, but just look at this position where KHK is in. It's right there on the plateau. I mean, 4KT actually having a better position here. They can still play the slight bit of a look they've got right in front of them. And, oh, man, I wouldn't be surprised if they really utilize that. And the zone shifting down to the south now forces the hand of KHK. They need to try and get up into zone. Meanwhile,
that's a
look
banger.
at those grenades.
That's a banger. We talked about it on the first game. Grenades are absolutely on point, and it's happening once more. Pennywise getting his head blown right off by Pronto. Once again, great shots from these guys, and Aimer is there to back it up with a headshot of his own. And now the smokes are making it hard because KHK don't know how they're getting pushed up. They're closing that gap. KHK were looking like they were the team with a favorable position, but everything has now gone wrong. Slime 4KT rushing it down as they're going to try and confirm those 2 final kills. Jebot not going to have time to heal up. He's going to get maybe a knock. No, puts him low at least. But 4KT having to move out. Aimer does get knocked away. Lewis goes for the jump shot. Connects it on the AKM. And now we're down to a potential 1v1v2. Vex spotted away, having to roll on out. Pennywise got the first aid in time. And that's it for 4KT. Eliminated in third. 11 kills over to KHK. As only one player stands up, and that is Matrix in the 1v2. He has the angle. He has the right position to fight from. And he gets one. Now go for the second. Gets down in just in the nick of time. But he's still got 5 bandages. You need to use them right now. Big molly. Could be the $10 billion molly. Way too close. Matrix don't get in it. Did he get in it? I don't know. He get the shot. And it's actually going to be the win connecting for Mezexis. Back-to-back win over on Miramar and also on Sanhok. And they get himself also 6 kills to show up for that. What a finish from Matrix. I saw the molly. I was like, is it the molly that's going to connect first? Is he going to get the shot in time? But seemed like the Uzi was mightier than the molly, and he does get the kill to close it off. What a play once again for Mezexis getting their back-to-back win. They had 0 at the start of the day, and now they got 2 back-to-back. That is nuts.
They definitely looking to pull a G3 here. I mean, that is they one chicken away from pulling a G3. That's it. It's absolutely on fire play coming in from the side of Mezexis there. Phenomenal stuff. And I mean, just looking at where they started off in today, not only, you know, having 0 points in that first game, but, oh man, 7th place coming into today. They have just been so on fire.
Hey, it's been insane to see this team evolve. Let's not forget that they started off the day in 7th place. Now they were in 5th before this game. We'll have to look at the rankings after the break, of course, to see how they are currently evolving. But getting themselves 21 extra points, I believe, because G3 did not get a lot of points that game, Mezexis might just be in 3rd literally as we speak, which would be an insane comeback to known from where they were at the start of the day until now. Of course, going to have to think about KHK Esports. They were still standing in 1st, and they are starting to create a pretty big gap. They're starting to try and get ahead of Slime 4KT, but Slime 4KT not letting himself go down too easily, get himself 20 points of their own, 10 kills and 10 positioning points. There's a very clear battle at the top, and Mezexis definitely want a piece of that pie, DK.
I mean, they don't want the pie; they want to take the pie. That is
like you with the pizza.
Yeah. You know, grab it with both hands and just go nom nom. You know, like that is absolutely insane efforts. But you got to give it to them. That is really strong performance. And I mean, what better day to do it on this, you know, as to the second last day. This is where you can make those big changes, and a really strong performance does absolutely wonders for teams. Seeing that the scores are so close.
Yeah, though looking onto the second page, Drogons, everything has gone wrong and will go wrong for this team right now, it seems. And it's very unfortunate to see because they started off setting up some really big expectations, got himself a bunch of wins. We were like, okay, Drogons doing really good, 2 wins, that's fantastic. We just need to see more consistency. And unfortunately, on that end, they are just not able to deliver right now. So hopefully we're going to see a change of pace for Drogons in this next game and, of course, the next 4 games of tomorrow. But things aren't just going too good. But man, I have to see who's going to be able to eat the pizza in 5 minutes at the top of the rankings. We'll have to see, and we'll have to have the answer of that question right after this break. It's DK also.
Oppo Rena 5. Cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Rena 5. Hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
And we're now one game away from finding closure here to our third day of the African PMCO finals. And after this, when you have 4 more games remaining for these teams to try their best to influence their rankings and hopefully take one of those very contested top 2 spots to make it in the PMPL. Once again, my name is Maxman with DK for our 4th and final game of the day. And we're going to go back to the grassy pastures of Erangel to see how things are going to go over there. And of course, when you're looking at it right now, you have so little amount of time, DK, to actually make an impact on the rankings. So now more than ever, if you want to catch up, you need an absolute banger of a game to close off day 3.
Yeah, I mean, one of the teams that have really been bringing in those bangers is, of course, the side there of Mezexis. They've been absolutely on fire in both Sanhok as well as Miramar. And now, you know, as we return back onto Erangel, I'm curious to see, you know, what they're going to be doing and who's going to be the team to step up.
Exactly. That's the question. Who is going to be stepping up? That's the question that everyone is going to try their best to answer coming into this. As hopefully we're going to be having our rankings coming up in just a few seconds, because we need to see, and especially talked about Mezexis and how they have had a drastic jump up, which is absolutely insane to see. Currently, we're going to be seeing them stand in 4th place with 106 points. Just shy of 3rd place. 4 more points, 5 more to make sure, and you could be overtaking G3 Temper. But G3 now, if they're looking at the standings, which is not going to lie, they probably are. Because you've got to keep in mind also, because we're aware of how this works. You people at home might not be aware of how the tournament works on the casting side and also on the player side of things. We have a Discord server where we've got all the players and everything going on. And we have a channel, which is the results channel, where every single game, the results will be posted and they can see their position in the rankings. So on a game basis, they can adapt and try and set up a plan as how they want to play. G3, here, DK, looking at Mezexis, be like, okay, they get a little bit too close. Now we need to actually get some good performances. Otherwise, our top 3 could just be gone in a mere second.
Yeah, and it could be just like that. You know, it could be a mere snap of the finger. And I mean, there's a 4-point difference between G3 and Mezexis. But also now looking at Slime 4KT and KHK, I mean, KHK actually leading the pack there by 10 points. So that has also been a pretty strong improvement coming in from KHK. They've also just been showing great consistency throughout the day. But a little bit further down, you know, it is getting so close to that top 8. I mean, moving into 9th place, 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th, as well as 13th. They're still very, very neck and neck. And I mean, one decent match in this final match could potentially be enough to secure them an 8th place at the end of the day.
Exactly. If you're in 13th place and above, making it in our first page in one game is definitely possible. You're just going to need to definitely put a lot of effort into it and get yourself a win. A lot of kills too will be coming that way. So hopefully we're going to be seeing that actually come to fruition this time. Though we're looking at the bottom, I'm still so... I was going to say impressed, but that is definitely not the word. I'm surprised to see Gun in such a low position, because we know, and I want to talk on a positive note here about Gun. Let's not forget 3rd place when you look back onto the spring split PMCO. They did absolutely amazing. Full split, they're struggling a little bit more into the finals, but this is a team that, when we look back on their past results, have been absolutely fantastic, right? They play some of the most beautiful PUBG Mobile you could see in the African region. They are struggling right now, it goes to say, of course, but this is a team that also I think needs a little bit more time to be able to adapt and also to remain as more consistent on an event per event basis. So we'll see, of course, how things can be going for this team and if they can try and get a little bit more prize pool going up, because unfortunately, top 2 spot seemed a little bit too far-fetched for them to actually execute, and I don't think it will be possible. Though, going into our 4th game here, do not forget that we are indeed born to win. Welcome to the exciting match brought to you by Oppo. Get your gaming mode on with a much-loved Renault 5 Series. There we go. After this one, we only have 4 more games. And it's so insane to think, DK, right? That we had so many days. This is what? Day 6, 7, 8, 9. This is day 9 of this African PMCO. And it's almost over. It's insane to think about.
Yeah, it's a little bit sad too. I mean, I wish it was a little bit longer. Having a good amount of fun here. And it's really, really amazing to see these teams, you know, just stepping up, showing up, and giving us some absolutely phenomenal gameplay. And I got to say, I'm pretty proud of the Africa scene. Some really strong plays, and I mean, really surprising performances coming out from the teams. You were talking about the Drogons sitting in 12th position, right? But if you look at how they've improved from last season, I mean, this season they're sitting with 2 chicken dinners on board. That is just insane. Also taking into consideration just the level of competition they're going up against. I mean, this is still a pretty crazy lobby.
Though we have yet to see a team get himself 3 wins, and I want to see that happen. Like, hopefully this game. So if we want to see a team with 3 wins, it'll have to be all KHK Esports Africa, Slime 4KT, Mezexis. And if they do that, they'll be the only team to get a back-to-back win. Unlike, for example, G3, they got himself a game in between that they didn't win. So it'll be good to see if they can do it in a row. And of course, Drogons, they have 2 wins currently. We are standing in 12th place, which is not great to imagine in the grand scheme of this event. Though, the George Spot going to be a little bit closer with his team. Going to have, of course, Team Somalia. You're going to have yourself also some players of Slime 4KT, which is very typical, and MZR also. But we're hoping, of course, to see no teams go out early, because this is a moment where if you die early, your hopes and dreams can just get shattered in mere seconds.
Yep, it all can go up in a puff of smoke. And already, right out the gate, we got the players here from Rila Insider and MZR. Pretty close proximity, but a quick disengage coming in there as MZR is looking to move a little bit further in. Blood actually still hanging around in the air. Blood and Clutcher, they just still hovering in, you know, floating on like, I don't know, like lily flowers or whatever you want to call it. They just cruising on through. I'm curious to see where it is they're going to try and go. Oh, just touching down and landing up all the way in towards that South George, but also landing right here alongside 4KT. So, yeah, that's a bit of a risky drop.
Yeah. You're talking about flowers, actually. And you know what? While there's going to be a very typical early game, very slow, we know Slime 4KT are not going to move until the last minute, so we'll see how that's going to go. But do you have a favorite flower?
No.
That's a quick answer. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I don't have a, like, I don't have a...
Because I swear,
favorite. You?
Every girl I know has a favorite flower. And I'm like, do boys have a favorite flower? But boys on the other side have a favorite game console. So you know what? We all got our own thing, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't have a favorite flower actually. I don't know. I'm trying to think.
As long as it smells good. I mean, I guess...
I mean, it's not a flower. I like oak trees. I think oak trees are pretty sick. I think they're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Sakura trees also, you know, the cherry trees and blossom, and where they're all pink because I like pink.
Ooh,
I think that's pretty sick too. But yeah, there's always a very big flower. You can, I mean, technically a tree is a big flower, right? Mm-hmm. Am I right in that? I'm gonna Google that. You know what? Just give me a quick sec. I'm gonna Google that. So, is a tree a big flower? Question mark, because I thought the question mark is very important. Is a tree considered a flower? So the exact definition says, the main difference between a tree and a flower is that the tree is a perennial woody plant. Okay, I give up. No, I don't need the answer anymore. It's fine. Well, I'll give up on that one. But there you go. That was the topic of the game. I don't know. I find weird topics.
Very insightful.
Yeah.
Very insightful. Yeah.
Why am I like this?
Now we know the exact answer. I mean, even like chat, if you want to help us get the answer on that, because Max is you know.
They use complicated words. I don't like complicated words, okay? It's not what I do. Not cool. Oh, got something that's swimming pool eventually. Dan wants to go in for a dip. Okay, so I don't do this often. Typically, I do this with Imperium when we're casting. I don't do this every time with UDK. But you know what? It's been a while, so I'm going to ask you. Prediction as to which team is going to win. Do you have one? This game, not the event, but this game.
Oh, okay. Let's go with lag.
Lag? You're taking my team. I was going to say lag, actually. So
Yeah,
you just...
I know. Like I had to think like Max because we've got the Tesla on screen. So it's like, ooh, Max. Wait, hang on. Let me.
Am I that
channel my inner
simple-minded?
Max.
Am I that
No.
simple-minded to you? Okay, that's
No.
fine.
It was actually quite a big thought process happening. You know, I just sped it up a little bit.
I want to see Mezexis take himself 3 wins in a row, but I know if I choose them, I'm going to jinx it for them, so I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
I want to see a gun win. I hyped them up a little bit for the game. I would love to see a win coming out from them, even if it's too late to make in our top 5. I think that Gun could secure himself a win this game. They've got 36 points right now, currently standing in 15th. A win is still huge because when you think about it, right, the prize pool distribution is very, very nice for the teams at the top. If you just get a few extra slots higher, Gun could get a few hundreds, if not thousands of dollars up their sleeve very quickly. So, Gun, if they get themselves a win, they're going to get absolutely just covered in dollars, and that'll be great to see from Gun. So, yeah, that's going to be the team I'm going for.
Okay, yeah. Well, good choice. You know, like they definitely do have the potential to pull it off, but let's see. Maybe the PUBG gods smile upon them as we enter into this match, you know, just going about. Speaking about that, I'd actually like to see Potato on Potato Hill. I don't know if he's in game even.
Hey, all you need is Imperium on Potato Hill, and you're good. That's how it works. Of course, that's where he lives.
Yeah.
I should do VFX sometimes. I should do some audios. Man, this is... I think we've seen this game so much, there's like very little to add. This is a very typical circle, very typical playing path, very typical drops and rotations from teams. Like, for example, RRAGE, what they do here, they go a little bit further up north, away from Pochinki, and if no one is there, they're just going to continue, which is exactly what they are doing right now. Parler's going to be already there. And flip! Do the flip. Do it for the vine.
Yeah.
And he can't find it. Where is... He couldn't find it, Paul.
It was an ambush. But I'd like to see some aerial tricks that are being pulled with the 3-wheel of doom. You know, like, yeah, I would pay money for that. But it's good, like having all our chase scenes coming in now. You know, the observers really doing a fantastic job with, you know, just coming in with these very cinematic kind of moves. I mean, I appreciate that so much. It looks amazing. It's quite fun to watch, and I mean, they've been so on point with the action as well. You've pointed this out as a few times, but I mean, the observers are just so on point with finding that action.
Yeah, of course. You know, talking about observers, don't forget, guys, we have an entire production crew behind this event. We've got observers. We've got our producer, too, called Alan. He did bring us a cake just mere seconds ago, so thank you very much, Alan. We greatly appreciate the cake, even though the cake is literally like a PNG, so not very nutritious, but you know what? I'll take it as much as I can. But yeah, thank you very much to the production crew allowing this entire PMCO to come to fruition. Not only this PMCO, but all the other PMCOs. You've got so many regions, so many events, and PMPLs after that, too. So thank you very much to them for making this possible. Without them, there will be, well, basically no stream. So yeah, thank you, guys. It is very nice that we have these actually happening.
Though.
Oh, I don't have the button anymore. There you go. I have to do it. Berserk. Oh, gonna get the sheesh out of that one. Pala taking a few hot shots. But nothing will really come out of that one. Still, we have 63 players alive, 16 teams still on board. As Rila Insider, I believe this is the second game in a row, maybe even third, where they spawn into the game as a 3-man crew, which is not great to see for them. Especially this was a team that I would say had a chance at the start of the day to be really comfortable in the positions, but they just slipped down so quickly.
Yeah, I mean, it is a slight bit unfortunate, but now looking at this play coming in between Gun and INF as well, holding onto this bridge, a little bit of trolling coming in there from the Gun side, putting quite a bit of a punishment into INF, and I mean, Sully actually managing to make it all the way across, but this is now where the pressure really starts to mount. As Gun, they're going to be looking to secure a decent position, of course, not too far away from that zone, but oh, they spot out Sully, and he's going to try and make a run for it now.
Gonna get fast and furious here, Sully. Good spray from Pounds. But unfortunately, very, very hard to hit this kind of shots in a moving vehicle, especially when you're also trying to shoot a moving target. Sully gets the hell out of that car and tries to fight back from that rock, but unfortunately, all they'll do is scare them off. Gun already started off with a kill. I believe it was on Influence Rage Africa, or maybe on another team. It was on Influence Rage Africa. They're currently down to 3 players, so good start from them. And of course, Nerf Me with a Mini 14 in hand. That guy, if he has any kind of long-range weaponry, he is going to be an absolute beast. Ooh. As that nade was a beast of its own. Junior and Dan taken down in one clean swoop, and Frozen's going to be jumping in to confirm those kills. What the hell did we just witness? That must have been the quickest breach I have ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, RRAGE, they just raged into the compound there, cleaning it out effortlessly. I mean, Frozen starting it off with a beautiful double knock. Then, of course, getting followed up by Slay, just slaying the Drogons, sending them back into the lobby. That was really quick, but also quite amazing to watch.
I just realized actually it was Drogons. They died so quick, I didn't even have time to see the name. But that's another poor result from Drogons. I don't think they've ever got out of the bottom 8 this entire day. They've always been in the bottom 8 players in a per match ranking, which is very unfortunate to see from them. They're just falling from grace. And that very fast pace also, so things aren't looking too good, too comfy for them. Inspector, though, locked them down on the more western side of this bridge, thinking of maybe moving away, as we also do move away, but from a fight. Cheddar is taking his own fight in a dip, and a very easy casualty potentially to the hands of Stony. But Cheddar gets a little bit closer, pops that first aid kit. That is his last first aid kit, so he can't allow to take too many fights now. But I believe he's in nade range. One good nade inside that shack. That is a see you later, Stony. The grenade's good. Stony, can he get out? Or doesn't quite connect, but the second might just be the one he needs. It's a little bit wider. There's an attempt, but unfortunately for him, Stony is very aware that that is a risk to remain inside that shack, so he's just going to get out on the other side, and Cheddar is now thinking of moving away with some smoke.
This is going to be a really, really risky play, though. I mean, Blackjack, they're a little bit spread out as well. As you can see, a really wide separation coming in for them. And, I mean, they got to be so careful. G3 just holding on that compound right behind them, so the pressure definitely on. But I'm liking this play coming in from Aphelion as well, just utilizing the cover, just trying to play this to their strengths. And Zane slowly tapping away, but of course right there alongside Sicko, so it is going to be a pretty tough play as Stony now gets knocked out.
I like how the fight between Blackjack and Aphelion Apex is like a 1v1, another 1v1, another 1v1, and then you have another player that's just lost, it feels. Stony, though, he's going to get taken on down by Cheddar, and also there was initially because of the shot of Zane, and that's another player also getting picked up. Really good stuff, but now would be the prime time to regroup. Get your forces back together and try and overwhelm the enemy with sheer numbers. Zane going to get himself another nade in hand. Maybe look in. Of course, the ping going to be alerting Sicko that something is about to go down. But he is not moving an inch, trying to give as minimal information over to the other side as possible. We did see the circle shift. Moves away from the water. Farm is in play. Potato Hill is in play. So the odds of us seeing Potato on Potato Hill are now increasing, DK, at a very steady pace. Trying to go out. Sicko on the other side. Tries to go for the early spray, and he actually gets himself the knock. He's solo, and the competition is going to be joining up, and that is such a good roll by. As Cheddar gets himself the kill and will get the res on his teammate. That is on point timing for Cheddar to keep Zane in this game.
Yeah, I mean, he hardly even broke a sweat on that rush. He just came flying in, jumped out of the vehicle, jump shot to close it up, and that was all she wrote. Now it's up to Kage to try and bring this play in, and he's just now huddled up in the little shack here. A complete turnaround coming in for the side of Aphelion Apex, but now Blackjack, they still have so much work to do. They're going to be looking to bring in another banger of the game. But I mean, it is definitely heating up. KHK moving in close by, so the pressure's on. They have a good position just on the edge of zone. But now they need to play this so calculated.
I was about to say, really good play from Cheddar to try and pop the wheels of that McLaren and also of that buggy. That'll be the best option. Are they going to try and close onto Kage? I mean, you smoked it up. They know that there's a big chance that he's the last player. They got 3 kills, so it would make sense to think and assume that this is the final player. But you got to be careful. There's another team right on the western edge of this position, so I would not take the risk. And I think Blackjack understood, okay, that is a potential huge risk. All of that for one singular kill, and if we die, we get literally no positioning points. I think that is a play from Blackjack that is definitely worth respecting. Not going the fight, not going the entire length, because you know that risk is just not worth taking.
Yeah. Well, another risk we see come in is the players here from 4KT. They're just inching their way closer towards Lag here, and actually Genie? Yeah, whatever. Just trying to get those sprays in. Well, these names sometimes, like, it's a little bit too quick on me, and then everything just goes out the window. But 4KT trying to play a very, very calculated game. They want to bring in an absolutely smashing one. And, I mean, here we go. RRAGE once again with the utilities, now focusing their efforts onto the players here from Team Somalia.
Team Somalia trying to swiftly just skirt out of that one and go for the res onto one of their players. Going to be Mimba trying his best. He will make it over to his position, and the circle shifts. This is huge. Hey, Mezexis, 3 wins in a row could be happening, though. You've got to stop that 2-2 split right now. You've got to regroup because teams are going to be pushing from the west, from the south even. Potentially, FEINTED could be a really big hindrance in that kind of spot. But the north is where things are really going to get a little bit too spicy for some of these teams. Somalia trying to move out. That res just not meant to be, apparently. And that's going to be a kill swiftly confirmed. Already 5 kills for RRAGE, and only 1 team got eliminated. Man, RRAGE are on a mission right now.
Yeah, they really, really are. They're looking to bring in a strong play. And so far, 5 kills on board. Team Somalia, they need to be so careful, but just quickly trying to sneak the way in. I'm liking this off-angle position coming in from Kingerman. But will he be able now to make that work in his favor? Beast also just slowly inching his way on up. They still to find that entry into the zone. But with Paula and the rest of RRAGE just holding onto this lip, it's going to be quite a bit of a challenge. But man, they seem up for it. There's the sprays finding their way on over. No hits landing just yet. But it's going to be a very, very tricky play to pull this one off.
Yeah, not interested with the fights, not interested with the kills. Could try and go for a sneaky off angle too, which seemed like that could also be an eventuality. And this is big, trying to deny away some coverage, which is a pretty smart attempt from RRAGE. But I still do not think this is worthwhile. I would start trying to move for position to the circle itself. But another way also could be to just clear away the edge, and that would be a viable option at that. MZR, 1 player down. The rest of the players going to try and move out as Lag are still in nade range. Could try and capitalize on a little bit of a better opportunity. The IBX. The rest of the team are just not interested. IBX is now going to push his way a little bit further down. Trying to reposition, get maybe an off angle on some of the players of Lag, but Lag, hear that. 1 nade down behind that tree. Get out of that one. Law mistake from leader. You know what happens? Happens to the best of us.
Yeah, especially if it's behind the tree. You know, it gets pretty tough. But 4KT, they still in the mix, man. They just holding up. They trying to pick at everyone they can. And Bronto actually getting picked up by leader. Beautiful spray, and now Fex is going to try and pick it up over on towards Clutcher. It lands the shot, but now they need to get that raise in. Eliminating 1 threat, but still focusing on the pressure coming in from the side of Lag.
Not easy to deal with. Storm, the rest of the team of Slime 4KT, they're going to have a lot to go through, but luckily enough, Storm is already into the circle. He's created somewhat of an anchor point, a rotation path for his team. But now they need to make that rotation come to fruition, execute it quickly, or go for another path if that is what they intend to do. We're now in phase 4, about to go into phase 5. That's when you know things are going to get a little bit more dicey for some of these teams, as there's not many good positions to hold on to. This is a current slope circle, and if it centers up or goes to the west or to the east, this is not going to be fun whatsoever. Trying to move out. Pronto, Fex, trying to join up onto Aimer. Storm also going to be abandoning that shack. Somalia will get taken down in 13th place. Big explosion as they just get absolutely destroyed in the fireworks. That will be causing them in 13th place to be taking an L. The final L of the day. RRAGE getting closed up by Slime 4KT, and they're trying to take them down. Don't forget, RRAGE are looking strong in this game, already up to 5 kills. But might be put to an end by the entirety of Slime 4KT knocking on their door.
Oh man, here we go. RRAGE now feeling that pressure come in. They were an absolutely on fire, just utilizing those grenades, sending them in. But now 4KT going to be looking to do the same to them. As you can see, Pronto picking up the grenade, throws it over. Oh, fortunately for them, it blows up mid-air. It's really decent seeing that vehicle exploding. It gives them that extra bit of coverage. And now 4KT are going to come in with that rush. looking to move straight on in, clean it up, and send them off into the lobby. The res is quickly coming through. Oh,
attempt one.
Fishing.
Or attempt one, try to go for a second, but no, he's going to go out of the car, go for the spray with his M4. But that's the first knock. Going to go for the second aim of the prone shot. That was so well played. You've got to get now your teammate on before he gets flushed. He does get flushed away, and Parla gets actually the double. And he's going to go for the confirm. Hopefully gets teammate back on board, but Storm is there off in the angle, and so are G3 as they strike at the opportunity of rising, and they will pick up a few kills along the way. Storm is now the only remaining player for 4KT, but unfortunately, I do not think it's going to work out. And as indeed I mentioned, it's not going to work out. 4KT eliminated in 10th. Now only 9 teams remain.
Man, this is that pressure cooker coming into play once again. The players there from Mezexis holding up ahead of Aphelion Apex, getting eliminated. Lag still in the running here, still in the mix. Ooh, Oxen gets spotted out. The sprays come through quickly, drops down. Zero once again with that big fat bubble next to his name. But will he be able to bring in some points? Gun also now looking to advance into zone. Romeo getting sprayed down. True just picking up the grenade behind the tree. Superior up ahead, but the hits are coming in from all directions. Short boy just trying to light up the vehicles. It's going to be a pretty tough play for them. But, I mean, moving into the zone, 7 teams remaining, 22 players still alive. It is going to be absolutely insane, chaotic play coming in.
Surprised Game were able to find a position like this, actually. But they've still got another player that's just way too far away from currently where they stand. I think that's Pounds, actually, so we'll see how that's going to be working out. Young Thunder, of course, we saw themselves take a strong performance in a location like this a few days ago. So we'll see if they can try and make this happen once again. They are very familiar with the terrain. True, goes for random nade through the smoke. Might connect onto Plaza. Not too sure, but still got 2 players. Pounds, CFA is going to be working in his favor. DP28 in hand. So many shots are being taken. G3's got the only compound in this circle currently. And if it shifts away on the next phase, it could be absolutely horrendous for them. So much breathing space in the center to the west. If it shifts there, it'll be horrible. But oh my god, this circle is given to G3. I'm not going to say it's their game because I don't want to flex it. I don't want to ruin it. I don't want to jinx it. But G3 are definitely looking in a very, very good position.
Yeah, quite the favorable spot to be. But KHK, they're also holding strong, just positioned up in towards the north. There is going to be quite a bit of fighting still to come. Gun looking to bring in the play, focusing their attention over on towards Young Thunder down below. True now just trying to stay behind that tree as much as he can, hoping that short boy runs out of ammo. But the grenades now getting sent up once again. Bounce taking a little bit of damage. Up comes yet another one to close it out. Pyro finds the knock onto Bounce, but up comes that rush. Matrix and Co now going to be looking to close in as they rush back up into zone. Young Thunder just up ahead. Will they be able to pull it off though?
Still have a full squad available. The triple chicken dinner in a row is still a dream that can become reality, but Pyro in the scope of Superior will get struck down and picked up. Actually, it's going to be Superior the one to actually confirm that in the first place. Nade taken up. Mercury may be able to get himself right behind the tree onto Superior. Does take a little bit of damage, but the smoke is now dissipating. Now he has full-on information and scope. Trying to get the spray onto Hawks. Then does get up in time, but he's behind that rock. He has such a good position to fight from. And Mezexis are going to be joining up onto his position. And they get the spray nicely connected on a moving vehicle from Matrix. This guy has just been absolutely shredding it on these last 2 games. But now they're starting to approach the compound of G3. They want to breach this area.
Yep, they're going to try and breach to their heart's content. But, I mean, G3, they've just got themselves so beautifully set up. Gun also now succumbing to the match there. Oh, yes, indeed.
Not fun. These walls are just so risky, right, DK? Nades are so easy to connect, and Sixth God are going to try and teach them a lesson. So going to go for the res onto Matrix, but once again, you don't want to stay there too quickly and too often, because otherwise, nades and mollies will be your downfall.
Can't afford any of those downfalls to come in. Sixth God now just getting picked up as KHK just comes in with a beautiful off-angle spray all the way from over the north there. But Mezexis, they're still in the mix. They've had 2 absolutely phenomenal games. Are they going to be able to pull this one off once again? Applying a little bit of pressure onto the players here from G3, as we can see now Flacco about to get rest up. KHK actually now getting hit off in the distance there. Lag also stepping up, finding the spray on towards Jerbad. But now game is on. Hawkson sending the grenades in. I think that was the smoke. Yes, it was. Here he comes, just quickly leapfrogging his way forward. But Gunner finds the spray onto Zero. Man, this is just leapfrog upon leapfrog. Everyone just trying to get their way up into zone.
Not too easy. Flacco picked up actually by Mercury of Mezexis. It's a great one, and now they are inside. They have infiltrated. The imposters are among us. Six God on the forefront, going to be getting his pin out. That's a big audio cue. Mercury should be somewhat alert. But KHK have just been chilling on the other side of the road, thinking of maybe when they want to cross on over, but they're waiting for all these teams to decimate each another, take themselves down one by one. And when they don't have the numbers anymore, that is when KHK are going to make full usage of their four-man crew. Then you got 3 kills, and you know that they want a hell of a lot more here, DK.
Oh, man. Come on, this is so close. A good position coming in from G3 and Mezexis once again. KHK now having to push in. Pennywise lands a shot, but gets knocked out right in exchange. Oh, Hawkson just trying to still bring in those suppressive shots. But we do see the players there from Lag also positioned all the way over on towards that western side, reduced down to potentially 1. Down goes Berserk. Yes, sirree. Here we go. Now, will Genji be able to get it? The grenade, though, coming in. What is going on? Here we go. The push is about to come through. That zone is about to start closing on, and the pressure is on KHK. They need to find a way back up into that zone.
Whoa, this is very stressful for a lot of these teams. Team Lag, of course, still 5 kills. Strong performance, but down to only 1 player. KHK now starting to use those smokes because they're getting pushed over that little hilltop, and that is where things start to get very, very sticky to move out from. And for the spray on the corner of the smoke, unfortunately, none of those bullets do connect. Six God got another nade in hand, maybe going to trample the pin eventually around the corner. The KHK had such a good opportunity, and they were hoping for these two teams of Mezexis and also of G3 to fight each another, but unfortunately, all of the focus is on KHK right now. And it's just a matter of time before they get picked up. The angle of Matrix is absolutely insane. Gets himself a double right with 1 singular spray. And now they only need 1 more kill. And that will be the end of KHK as Lewis is there to stand strong. But G3 are now even more happy as they can put even more focus down to Mezexis.
Man, you just gotta give it to Mezexis though. They've just been playing such a phenomenal game here today. This could potentially be that 3rd game they are looking for. But Lewis now looking to hold strong. Hawks and getting a little bit cheeky there, just venturing out. But G3 still sitting on a full squad here.
So close. So close. Hits another bullet. That's 10 more damage. He able to get himself a little bit of a res. First aid kit does come on through, but the smokes are now dissipating DK. And he's just taking so much damage. Another first aid kit. And Mezexis and G3 are basically working together. But Matrix trying to be a sneaky fella here. Trying to wrap around Lewis. Unfortunately, gets his head blown right off. That's the end of KHK, but still another top 3 today. This team has got 4 top 3s, if I'm not mistaken. We'll have to look into that, actually. But this team has been absolutely nuts. Now trying to get into the fight. Matrix, that's the perfect off angle. Gets one, but that's all he shall connect. As now it's going to be a 1. Haxen trying to go for the res onto Matrix. But they know they got the man advantage. They know they must push. They cannot allow this res to come through. Big nade. A little bit more damage might come out. Matrix will not be taken down. That's going to be a great knock from Hawkson, but he knows he's getting surrounded. You got to jump over that wall. This guy is so aware of his surroundings, but unfortunately does not make it in time. And that is going to be a game going over to none other than G3 Temper as they stop Mezexis from basically pulling a G3 Temper in really big fashion. G3, we said it, they've been a little bit silent in terms of wins, but they finally secured their 2nd win in the finals here.
Man, that was a really well-deserved victory coming in there for G3. They were working so hard. They maintained their numbers all the way up into that final zone. Phenomenal gameplay, but you got to give it, though. Mezexis, they've just been absolutely relentless today, and really, really strong efforts coming in from them. Love it.
Yeah, I mean, they were not really high in the standings. We're going to have to look at the rankings, of course, before we do end the broadcast. So definitely do stick around for that. You do not want to miss it. But also, I mean, we're looking at it. KHK. 3? Actually, wait, no, it's 4. 4 top 3s every single game. Got himself a win on the first game right off the bat. Very strong result from them. And you're looking on the other games, right? Looking onto that Sanhok game, got himself a top 3, then another top 3, then another top 3 right now. And they already had a point lead of 10 points before this game against Line 4KT. They are trying to run away with that first place. It's absolutely insane to see. But, of course, as we said, we want to stick around for the overalls. That is definitely what we're going to be putting our attention to. As here we go, the finals ranking. What are we working for before we head into day 4 of the finals? 174 points total for KHK Esports Africa. This team is just making a statement. They were not even first today, but now they are just running away with the lead.
Yeah, and we can see, of course, those double winner chicken dinners just lighting it up in those top 4 slots. Absolutely insane. There's one team with 2 chickens as well, but we don't see them on this page. But hey, man, I got to say, Blackjack also, they're bringing it in. They've now advanced up into 7th place. So one more day to go. They are almost they're almost sitting on half the points of KHK. So I think any major changes coming in that final day is going to require so much work to try and catch up. And I mean, putting a halt to the advance of KHK, Slimeful, KT, and even G3 is going to be quite a bit of work. But I mean, the consistency coming in from Mezexis is absolutely on fire here today. And the second page, it's looking a little bit dire.
A little bit dire for some of the teams. Of course, the one that I think is definitely worth mentioning in DK is going to be Drogons. This team started off the day in what I would call not a bad position. Very far from that, I would even say. And they've just been falling off every single game. And it's very unfortunate to see because I think this is a team that has a lot of potential. But unfortunately, they're not able to live up to the expectations in these last few days. We still got tomorrow, of course, 4 more games. We'll see if they can try and make up for these recent poor results and actually push himself back up on the top 8. That would be an amazing thing to see and witness at the end. But if there's one team that I want to say I'm very impressed and happy to see perform this well, is going to be Blackjack Esports. They started off over in 14th place, and now they are standing... At least last game, they were standing in 7th place. I don't know exactly how it is right now. I didn't see in time because I'm not very quick on my eyes. But still, I'm really happy with Blackjack. Are there any other teams that come to mind, DK, do you think have impressed you the most? Potentially KHK or another one?
Aside from, well, it's mainly the teams that I've mentioned so far, Mezexis. You know, they've really brought in an absolute banger one. But yeah, I'm curious to see though what Blackjack will bring tomorrow. They have that opportunity, that potential to potentially maybe catch up to the top 3. I don't think we're going to see them sitting at the top. It's going to be a lot of work to pull that off, but who knows? I might be wrong. Maybe I don't know, they engage beast mode or something tomorrow.
We'll see. They're going to try and go gear 2nd, gear 3rd, or even potentially gear 4th tomorrow and go plus ultra mode. That is what we're hoping to see. But with that said, thanks so much, ladies and gentlemen, for watching our 3rd day here of the African PMCO Finals for the Full Split 2021. It's been an absolute pleasure as always, and you definitely do not want to miss tomorrow. It'll be same time, same place. Don't worry about that one. We are definitely going to be here at the Rendezvous, and of course, it'll be brought to you by myself, Maxman, with DK, and of course, the one and only amazing James Banks. He's not here for the last 3 games, but he's definitely going to be here for tomorrow's final games. So definitely be there, be square. We'll see you tomorrow.
Oppo Rena 5. Cool down to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.
Oppo Rena 5. Hold it to win.
Oppo Reno 5, PUBG Mobile MENA Esports official designated smartphone.